Clobberin time!
Atomic batteries to power. Turbines to speed.
Roger, ready to move out.
Hey, is everything okay? Why's your mic on? No, like seriously, are you coming back? Are you time traveling? Is there something wrong with your microphone? Boss! Captain! Captain, my captain! I hope everyone can hear me. If you can hear me, can you hear the boss? Because I can't.
You couldn't hear any of that? You didn't see the stuff, the credits and stuff?
Oh, no, I saw that.
In your commercial?
Yes. Oh, no, I didn't see that.
Oh, I did. You didn't see your commercial going off?
No.
That's why I wasn't talking, because
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, I would say so.
I did not see any of that. All I saw was your microphone off.
Well, yeah, because I had the commercial
going on.
I could hear you. Did anyone see the commercial go on? I saw it.
I didn't. I thought we just went straight to air.
Wrenches, well, I heard you, so you must have turned your microphone off, is what I was thinking. But Wrenches, did you see the Raquel's commercial? Yeah, they saw the commercial.
They saw the. How come I didn't see it? What's wrong?
I don't know. And the only reason I could hear you, obviously, is because you deactivated your microphone. But that's unbelievable. They saw it, so you got me. Thank you, though, for that, Chris.
Weird. Weird. So you saw the commercial?
Yeah, even I did, and sometimes I don't even see it. There are times
and
when
I did not turn my mic on.
Oh, then why did I hear you then?
My mic went off of mute, and when yours didn't, I was like, "What's going on?"
That is got to be some kind of StreamYard's crappy. I don't know.
Chris says it was a prank on all Albertans. Obviously, something's going on.
Yes. Did you guys hear Raquel? Because I could hear it. I was like, she turned her mic on.
I did not turn my mic on.
You were singing during your own commercial. I thought you were just being goofy.
Okay, it did not show on this end. Isn't that bizarre?
Yeah. I mean, you guys will have to let me know. Could you hear her while the commercial was on? Yes, and you heard Carell. You saw it as he heard Raquel. That's crazy.
It's nuts. It's weird. It's creepy, but
yeah, well, we indeed. Anyway, let's say some hellos first. No particular show notes other than unless you have any. You have any? Nothing?
No, other than StreamYard. What the hell is going on?
I don't get it. One show note, of course, is our great friend, our fantastic buddy, chief engineer, Mark D with a C, cannot be with us tonight. He's on an away mission. He'll be gone. I guess he'll be back in town Monday or something like that. So he will be gone. We won't say what he's up to. We'll just wish him a big congratulations, and we'll miss him. And we'll also talk bad about him a little bit just for the fun of it. Just kidding. If you're out there listening, buddy, we hope you're having a great time. But we love our great engineer.
Something went wrong. Because Mark D wasn't here.
And we should blame him. We should blame him. Mark D, that was a crazy, strange StreamYard's gaffe, but we do have full confidence that it was your fault.
Are we haunted? Is that what's going on right now?
It could be a haunting.
There's absolutely no reason why I would not see
insane.
that. It's so
or that I would hear you if you didn't, or that your mic would be on.
You guys are freaking me out. At this point, I actually don't believe you. So.
I'm not kidding. I heard you, and if you didn't deactivate your mic, that means I don't know what it means.
Something weird's going on, but I'm not sure if I believe you. I think you're all pranking me.
I swear to you, I played your commercial. I saw the commercial. You will be able to run it back later on the video and watch it. In fact, I'm going to go on to the video right now.
What?
I'm going to run it back.
Okay.
Well, let's see. Celebrate after that. Let's see. Yep, I'm looking at it right now. The commercial ran. Let's see. I'm going to turn on.
It ran perfectly.
And I can hear you talking through it, singing through it.
Why? That's so weird.
It's you. Yep, you talking to me. Because you didn't know.
Okay, so on my end, if you're not just kidding with me right now,
you'll be able to look at it and prove it to yourself. I can't.
My stupid commercial did not show, and all I saw was your microphone off, and I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, something's wrong with Clobby's mic." So then I was like, "Hi, Captain. Well, hello, Captain. My Captain."
You can either go now. You could go onto the thing now yourself and run it back and see, or do it later. But the fact I can't, I could, if I told you I was kidding in a joke, it would be a lie proven later when you did that. Because I just looked at it.
That's nuts. I was like, yes, Hungry Boy. This is Hungry Boy. Could you actually see the commercial? All I saw was the box.
They all said they saw it, and I just saw it too.
Weird.
And heard you.
Okay, well, now I'm scared of StreamYard.
Well,
weird.
Yeah, it is weird. Now, yeah, but see, the thing is, you said your mic was off.
Yes.
Well, it's supposed to deactivate mics automatically, and you could, you have to turn it back on to be able to talk. It only turned on
after the commercial was done.
What do you mean? No, I heard
not the commercial. The intro. When the intro when the intro was done.
Well,
it came on.
Halloween's next week, but I don't know. But all I know is it happened, and you could I couldn't even make something like that up. Even if I did, you could verify it by you could have watched the video and say, "Oh, you were just kidding," but no, it's there.
That is the creepiest thing that's ever happened.
That's crazy stuff. Yeah, I mean, it was just like some kind of glitch, but at least we can blame the chief engineer, Mark.
I'm 100% blaming Mark for this. Mark, did you put some sort of voodoo curse on StreamYard tonight?
Blame the engineer. Anyway, let us just move past it for now. It's all we can do, my friends. But
I believe you. I don't think you're pulling the prank. There are too many people saying that's what happened. So.
Well, like I said, it's so easily verifiable unless I delete the video, you see it yourself. So and here.
No, I believe you. It's just it's really creeping me out because that's not what happened on this end. But doesn't matter. Let's move past it.
Yep, we'll move past it, and we'll I don't know what else. Maybe I can report it to StreamYards later to ask them what the dealio was there.
That'd be a good idea.
Welcome, everybody. We'll say some hellos now. The great Bronze Wrencher is here. Good to see you, Bronze Wrencher, the great Eric K.
Hi, Eric.
Hey there, brother. The great Vindicator Wrencher himself, Chris Persia, is here. Thank you so much for being here, buddy, and all that you both do. And I don't know if he's here yet, but I just like this. Showing this anyway. The great D. Bud Martin, the man of iron. He's probably, I haven't seen him pop in yet. He may be wrenching. I think he's probably wrenching over there at one of those other ones, but we love him here. So I don't know if he's here yet or not, but I'm sure he'll pop in if he can. If not, I hopefully see him tomorrow night. Oh yeah, one showing tomorrow night, 8:30 Central Standard Time on the great Nick Weiser's show, The Comic Shop Boys, and I will be reviewing with Nick, of course. I should say Nick's Comic Shop Quartet. Nick's Kooky Quartet, even though there's some, that'll work because there's usually 5 of us. And there was an old, the old Avengers when anyone remember the lineup Cap's Kooky Quartet? They'll call Nick's Kooky Quartet. We'll do that. I'm sure the guys will have seconds of just absolute joy and laughter over that one. Phantom Outsider was a man. He was a Phantom Outsider man. Good to see you there, buddy. Lemon Pie. I never cease to want lemon pie when I see you pop in. Hello there, Lemon Pie. Welcome. Apollome's Minion.
And the pepperoni.
Good to see you there, Paul and me. Welcome.
Did you notice he's now banging on a pot or something instead of singing it?
A steel tumbler thing.
Is it a steel tumbler?
With a steel spaceship, small spaceship.
We loved making you sing it. It was great.
Indeedishness. Brian Hepburn. Hey there, my friend. Cal L, super buddy. What's up, bud?
Hello.
Hungry for. I need you to say Hungry Boy's name because I can't pronounce that last. Hungry for a
Hungry Boy.
Trollenberg tiramisu. Tiramisu. Man, you had to make a tongue twister for me. Hungry Boy. Just for that, we're gonna have some tripwire tonight. We're gonna start out with some tripwire, then we'll get to the good stuff. Let's see. Dave G Sound. I hear puppies. Oh, I love puppies.
Hey, are you feeling better, Dave? Dave G Sound?
I hope you're feeling better.
Honey? Yeah, yes. Andrew's out running an errand, but he should be here soon, so he can take the puppies away because the puppies, you know what they're like.
The puppies knew we were talking about the pupper that Polynesian, and they wanted to say hi to the pupper. That's they're communicating with each other across the internet.
They do. They said, "Simmy."
I hope you were doing well and doing better, Dave G with the sound. Mark Lerseth, hello there.
Hi, Mark.
Dave G Sound, I should say.
Yes, Mark Lerseth.
And Mark Lerseth, hello. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Hang on. Olds Gamer 72 Cutlass. Hopefully with
hello.
Is that with a rag top? I forgot that. I maybe asked you that before, but anyway, let's see. Hang on, gotta see. Classic Comics. Hey, Classic Comics. Enjoyed hanging out with you last night on Loki's round table, buddy. Always a pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much.
Always fun.
And yes, indeed, a good fellow. Good to see you, Captain Infinity and beyond.
And for those of you who have no idea who that is, that's Captain Cockney Spock, our old friend.
To me, he's Captain Infinity now. He doesn't even have to be.
He's not a new guy, though. He's an old guy. He's an old friend. He's not a new friend.
You just got called old. Well, you are old. But don't worry, Infinity, you're probably not as old as me, so you're okay. Anyway, welcome everybody to Clobbering Times, CLOBBY'S Clubhouse number. What is it? Number 52. What is it with that number 52? The new 52, the old 52. I got a problem with that number 52. All right, folks. So a year doing this, and I heard you'd seen that Classic Comics. I might go sit through it tomorrow. I'm not against my better judgment, but I hear you. So yeah, again, I'm not that particularly well disposed to anything DC cinematically now, but I'll probably be walking around with nothing else to do tomorrow, or running around, and I might go sit down and plop out $7 and go for the cheapy matinee thingy, or maybe I'll wait till Tuesday and watch it for $5. I don't know. At least it's a couple of bucks, and you get to sit in the theater and have a little popcorn, and I don't know. It's fun to do that. Even if a movie sucks, so who knows? And then, by the way, just out of curiosity, I looked at some of the reserved ticket seatings online for some of these features. I'm seeing these big theaters with whoa. Everyone say hello to the puppies. We hope they're not attacking Raquel. I think they're, wow, man, she had to fight them off. So I might go sit through that. What the hell? I don't know. Or then again, I may not. I just don't know. It's a decent popcorn movie, but the popcorn's so expensive. I have popcorn movie right now that was like $1.50 that I got out of a bag from the grocery store. That's better than the $15 you pay for the popcorn at the theater. So anyway, while Raquel's handling that, I tell you what, Hungry Boy, we have two, and I'm sorry, Hungry Boy, for this, but you know, I got to keep up with the Joneses with this tripwire. We are now down. We have number 12 and 11 on the countdown. So everyone, we're big comics fans here at Clobbering Times, as you well know, and I love comic book history and comic book artists and writers and things of that nature. And again, hey, J-Man, what's up, bro? J-Man says, just saw Black Adam and it sucks worse than Snyder stuff. It's such a piece of massive garbage that if you go see it, your eyes will burn with black flames and you will go straight to hell, and you should not watch it. And you should in fact stop people from watching it. Wow. That's real harsh, J-Man. I mean, I think that's a little bit much, man. Oh, I'm sorry. I misread it. You didn't say that. And now I better put it up there, so make sure I'm just kidding. Everybody knows. So it's just J-Man says, ding dong, hello. Back from Black Adam. It's a pass, better than any Snyder DC stuff. I will be the judge of that, my friend. But no, it's not. The Tripwire's not bad right now. Anyway, so Tripwire. This is the Tripwire segment. And by the way, good to see you, everyone. Our great buddy J-Man. I'm gonna sit through it, Jay. I'm going to sit through it. About a year or so ago, we discovered that Tripwire, formerly a magazine, now a website thingy, has been keeping doing a top 101 all-time greatest comic artists. And now you might remember that I'm not all fond of the order. Not so much the content of the list as the order. Some of it is absolutely preposterous, ridiculous. I know it's a matter of opinion, but their opinion sucks. Sorry. Not to put too fine a point on it, right? But their opinion blows donkeys. However, we are in the we're in the top now. We've now on. I'm not having too many problems with some of their higher ups. Mark Reset, these idiots had George Perez at number 46. That's what I'm talking about. They had Gil Kane at like 54 or something. They had Ramita in the 50s. Alex Toth at 60 or something. And these people are dumbasses. But nevertheless, I'm chronicling it. And they're, we've got 12 and 11 tonight. And then we'll start the top 10 stretch, which at least hopefully they won't make too many bad choices. So here we go. Number 12 is, again, it's a great choice. They have him at 12. I have him on my list. I have him at 13. The great Wally Wood. The great Wallace Wood, by the way. So, our dear departed, fantastic friend, Mark C., whom we've named our Monday Night Comic Talk was a huge fan of Wallace Wood, as many of us were. One of the all-time greats. They have him at 12. My list is different now. My list is just my personal favorites. These people are trying to call these. They're trying to unequivocally state that these are the greatest of all time. They're not just saying, "Hey, these are my favorites," and they don't know shit about comics. Well, actually, they probably do know shit, but that's about all. And if you need some examples, I've seen them on a few occasions post like their entry, and then they will show art that is even not by that person that they're chronicling. So that means to me that they're dopes. Call me old-fashioned. I think that means you're a dumbass if you do something like that. I know it's a bit harsh, but sorry. Anyway, the great Wallace Wood. Let's check this out. And one of the masters. Good God. A very tragic life, as you all know, what and how he unfortunately ended himself, worked himself to death, and then ended himself. And it's one of those, about 2 or 3 comic book legends that have done so, unfortunately. But was just absolutely instrumental in some of the early Mad Magazine, some of the early horror stuff, some of the great science fiction comics of the 50s and 60s. Was great on Daredevil. Didn't co-create him, but did do some of the early ones. Shaped him. Thunder Agents. Just one of the masters. Wally Wood belongs anywhere as high as you want to put him. Wally Wood, I'm sure, Hungry Boy, you'll agree. Hello there, Donnie Pearson. Good to see you. So, yes, he wasn't, as you say, Hungry Boy was a top sci-fi designer. So I'm sure, Hungry Boy, you'll go along with me that You could put Bollywood as high as you want, and I'm fine with it. So tonight we don't have any bad news to give you any fits tonight, Hungry Boy, because he's one of the greats. And again, I think when we get to this top list, some of them are such no-brainers that even these people can't screw it up. But boy, did they screw up most of this list. It's absolutely. And I did a show chronicling the first 60 or so back in January. When this finally gets all said and done, I'm gonna do a show just going all through it again. But yeah, so the great Wallace Wood. God, I love his Thunder Agents. And I even love his JSA, and he was one of the masters of comics art. And he's got some risque stuff there. Woo! Love his Daredevil stuff. So, hey, Canadian Spidey, what's up? You still there, number one? The dogs didn't get you, did they?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry about that. They got really loud, but it's because Andrew came to the door and committed the cardinal sin. He knocked on the door. And just as I say cardinal sin, look who just
I was about to say, you said cardinal sin, and there he is. This is a spooky night. The first one.
It's a very spooky night.
Cardinal
with a very
sin.
weird start. Anyways, I wanted to
goodness.
apologize to everyone if you got an earful from the dogs. They were on my lap. Andrew came and knocked on the door, and they were like, "Oh my God!"
No apologies. Everyone loves the doggies. Don't worry about that. You know, you don't have to worry about that. Cardinal sin, my buddy. Thank you so much. Gil, I hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a great night, my friend. And I thank you for the 1999 super sticker. See if I can see it.
He's doing watch-along parties now, you know.
I know he is.
I'm not sure. I think it's for the whole month of October, and they all have a spooky theme. And he's using I think it's pronounced Kosumi or Kosumi app, where everyone can have a little watch party together, and it's incredibly thoughtful, and it's great for a bunch of friends to get together and watch. And so, if you can, please stop by and support Cardinal Sin. He's on YouTube. He's also on Twitter. Gil, we love you, honey.
Indeed. If anyone could get Cardi's link up there to his channel, I have a link in my description below, though, by the way. But anyone who wants to, that sounds like a lot of fun. I mean, that's always at times when I'm either sleeping or whatever because I've been out so much. But I'll tell you this, please, if you haven't already, subscribe to my good buddy Cardinal Sin's channel. Yeah, thank you so much. So there we go.
It's a lot of fun if you're. Oh, sorry to interrupt you, boss. No. But if you're somebody who struggles to go to sleep, or you struggle with insomnia, or you just want to go hang around with a bunch of bona fide geeks and a bunch of bona fide nerds, that's a really great way to spend your time. Almost stopped in a few times, but I had show prep to do, and I've also been on quite the journey with my friend and the artist from my book. The wonderful HB, Hungry Boys. So I haven't been able to stop in yet, but I promise I'm going to get that. I'm going to get there before the end of October. Cardi.
There you go. And now our other tripwire entry is someone that at number 11, on my personal favorite list, I have him at 19, but I have no problem with being 11 or even higher. He's one of the all-time greats. He is one of the true masters. He's in my Hall of Fame. He, like Wallace Wood, is already in the Clobbering Times Comics Creator Hall of Fame. And he is, of course, the great Joe Kubert. Joe Kubert at number 11, Hungry Boy. I know you don't have a problem with that one either, brother. Joe Kubert, I mean, what can you say? The guy who formed the Joe Kubert School of Cartooning, who so many artists went to. He's just, again, a master. I was lucky enough to get to meet him once at a con, but he was one of the just to meet such a great one. And as soon as this thing loads, come on, man. The site, it's not cool.
Well, at least it's just the site for you. Our entire show intro didn't load for me.
But as long as it did for everyone else, what can you say?
Yeah, but we should report that to StreamYard.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We should, sir. I agree.
Oh, what's that?
What?
That was nice.
Oh,
and then it skipped town and took off.
The great Joe Kubert, folks. I can't see the chat, anyone. So if Hungry Boy, just let me know what you think. Oh man, good. His tour. his Tarzan,
His
his
Tarzan is
Hawk.
nice.
Oh, yep, this is Tor here, but he did Tarzan brilliantly.
Thor looks an awful lot like Tarzan.
does.
What's the difference? Can you teach me?
He's from prehistoric times.
Oh, okay.
You know, here they go again using a cover that he didn't draw. Okay, I'm not even gonna. Oh, Jesus, morons! He did so many covers. Why don't you use one he drew? I know he. Never mind. Jesus Christ, man. Why they've done this? All right. Anyway, his
I
war
liked
comics.
Wallace Woods. Wallace Woods was really good.
Oh, Wally Wood was again the master. These guys belong this high.
But that's the kind of science fiction cartoon.
Oh, science fiction stuff. Yeah,
comic stuff that I like.
He did, like I say, again, these masters, when you get up to this point, they didn't just do one thing. Of course, his science fiction work is brilliant, but he also, speaking of Wood, he did Mad Magazine, parody stuff. He did horror stuff. He did superhero stuff. He did it all.
Let's talk about Tor, because it's very interesting that this person would do Tor and Tarzan. So he must be good at drawing bodies. He must be good at the physical form. And who created this Tor character? So you're saying Tor is prehistoric, and obviously we know when Tarzan is from. So this is, what is this, 1 million years ago? It says. Very
Yes.
cool. Okay, so who invented Tor?
Joe Kubert did.
Oh, no way, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yep. So he didn't. This isn't something.
Well, he did it with other writers. I think he had like a Norman Maurer, and I think even a couple other different writers. But yeah, it was one of his.
Wow.
Yeah, it was Maurer.
And so
he co-created him with.
What are the years that this Tor comic was big?
It was 40s, 50s.
Wow.
But then later they've reprinted a lot of it. So I don't have any of those, but I have a lot of reprints of Tor.
Yeah.
Of course. And yes, he did that before he worked on the Tarzan strip, but he did a lot.
So can I ask everyone in the chat, what do they think of this Tor? I mean, I think people would really, really love Tor, since it's another form of imbibing or celebrating that sort of Tarzan, like you're out in the wild and it's just man against nature and man against beast, and really high-end, high-level drawing. So how many of you collected or read Tor when you were young, or perhaps now? It looks very interesting, and my interest is always piqued when I see Sinbad. I saw Sinbad there as well, and that's pretty cool.
Yes.
Yeah, and so he didn't draw that Flash cover, you're saying?
No.
Well, who did draw that Flash cover?
Carmen Infantino did that cover with Murphy Anderson inking him, and it was just they're mentioning it, but they're putting it there, trying to making it look like it shouldn't be there. And that's a classic showcase where they brought in the Silver Age Flash. So, and anyway, his biggest claim to fame in terms of just comics was his war comics. Sergeant Rock and Army at War. Enemy Ace. Oh my God, I love Enemy Ace.
Oh wow.
Basically, sort of like the Red Baron. He was a World War II comic. Viking Prince, another one of his. Okay. I mean, it would take too long to list all these great. I love Enemy Ace. Is fantastic. Yeah, his work. I mean, I have a couple of the big reprint books. Look at his beautiful covers. And
so this would be 1940s.
This is 60s here.
Okay, but what's the storytelling from?
Say again. Oh, Enemy Ace is from World War I.
Yeah. That is something that I find very appealing.
Tarzan.
That type of storyline.
His Tarzan, he's one of the top 2 or 3 all-time great Tarzan artists.
Yeah, I can see that. So this is like Wallace Wood. This is also another person who can draw different genres, because Wallace Wood starts off heavily science fiction, and you're looking at it and you're like, wow, this is amazing. But then you see his portfolio is quite developed and quite broad, and this one appears to be as well.
Well, Joe Kubert is, again, at some point, and I forget exactly, maybe Hungaroring knows which years it started it. He started the Joe Kubert School of Cartooning and taught generations of who attended that school how to draw comics. It was a master cartoonist, a brilliant artist. I mean, if you look at his stuff, it doesn't look like any of this modern crap, and these guys did it all with pencils, not computers. Look how busy Just that's in the jungle. But look how busy and detailed it is, because he was just, and he's not only a master of composition, but look at his panel arrangement, his dynamic action. He could do it all.
I do like the really cool panel arrangement, because sometimes it elevates comics. Sometimes it has the ability to elevate comics to being like, you know, art in a way in which people wouldn't turn their nose up at it. They would go, yeah, that's art. That's art.
It's art for
sure.
So
may I please ask a question? Where is there a delineation between comics and cartoons? So when I think of comic book artist, I think of that as a very specific skill in which there is a realism involved, where I would liken it to like a Rembrandt. And I know that sounds silly, but there's a realism there that the artist is trying to achieve. And it takes a lot of training, and it takes a lot of skill, a lot of practice. These are people who study fine arts. But when I think of comics, I don't think of somebody who can draw to this level.
Well,
oh, great. Great. So this is a good question. Thank you, Hungry Boy. I love you.
Oh, I mean, he could go on for. I mean, if he would come on one of these days, we'll get him on one of these days to explain his views on it, because he's an artist. I'm not. I'm a Neanderthal when it comes to that stuff. I can just tell you what I think about. And look, here's an ad for the Joe Kubert School of Cartoon and Graphic Art Inc.
Yeah.
Go and to me, I've always, comics. They were it got the word comics and even cartoons, because that means comical, but that's when, because the first of these things that were words and pictures in publications telling stories. I mean, they're not going to call them hieroglyphics, obviously. What were they going to call them? No one really knew what to call them, so they called them funnies, because they were all based in humor for the most part.
Yeah.
Right, they were called funnies. So it just got comics, just as sort of the misnomer that they've got. I mean, it just happened, just, who knows? But so
it'd be interesting to look into that, though, right? Because when you look at the accumulative connotation, you're thinking to yourself, comic book artist, oh my God, this may be a titan. This may be somebody who is capable of incredible things. But when you think of comics and when you think of funnies, you think of pretty, like, at least I do, and perhaps others share this idea, this very rudimentary approach to storytelling, where there's very naive and easy, I want to use the word easy, depictions of emotions, and you drink them in with your Sunday paper, and you laugh at the cute little sayings that are inside of them, or how they're commenting on popular culture. But I'm beginning to feel something different about comic book artists, something more next level, something that's entirely different, that I think gets put down too much in beyond, by, like, in regular society, beyond nerds and geeks. Does that make sense?
Sure. Good night, J-Man. Good to see you, buddy. Hey, Hungry Boy, let me know when you got a Monday free, and we'll do it. Well, I would love to have you on Talk Comics Art.
Night, J-Man. So, everybody, please support J-Man.
So, basically, I would say that the great Will Eisner, whom I firmly expect to, definitely expect to be on this list soon. Who knows where, but he'll be in the top 10. The great Will Eisner called it sequential art, and he did a great book called Comics and Sequential Art, which I think I even have. Scott McCloud, who I like, did a book. Some people call it a little bit pretentious, but he made some interesting points. It's called Understanding Comics. Don't hit me, Hungry Boy. I know you probably don't like him that much. I don't know if you like him or not, but I like this Zot. He called it. He was coming up with all these different names. Why are they called comics? Why are they this, that, and the other? In the beginning, in his book that he won a lot of awards for, called okay, next Monday you got it, Hungry Boy. You're in. We'll talk comics, of course. He called it. He was trying to think of all these different names, and he basically came up with this long but humorous description called Juxtaposed Pictorial Images in Deliberate Sequence. Basically, sequential art. The use of words and pictures to tell a story, but sequentially. Now, some comic strips. Comics is just the name it got labeled with. That's it. Cartoons, in some cases, they use cartoons. Way before there was animated. Now, sort of cartoons, when you say cartoon now, they think of animated features.
They do.
But they were actually using that for comics. Like, in other words, School of Cartoon and Graphic Arts. So they call you a cartoonist even if you don't work on animated film.
Excuse me for 1 second, please, boss. Mark has to leave, and he's saying good night,
Okay, Mark,
and he's
have a
saying I
good
gotta
one.
run. Good night, Mark. Thank you for
Mark
being here,
Seth.
sweetheart.
Thank you for being here, sir. So these Scott can't draw. I like this Zot, man. I'm sorry. But see, so the point is, even it got those two things, cartoons and comics, and that's why someone who's never worked in animation calls himself a cartoonist. So yet they draw comics, comic strips, or comic books. The first comic book was a compilation of comic strips cut out of a paper, that already run in the paper. But anyway, so that's just what they are. They're comics, and they are sequential art. To me, there's some comic strip artists who are great, but if you look at their art, like Hal Foster or even Alex Raymond, whom I adore, and they've been on this list, they put panels together. Each panel almost looks static, like just an image and then the next one's completely different, like a whole bunch of pictures in a row. And you have to read the captions and know what's going on, which is all fine and good. But a cartoonist, cartooning to me, as Joe Kubert and others have said, tells you a sequential story with a series of pictures that move in almost a cinematic way. They progress, and they tell you a story where it seems like the next panel is progressing the story, where sometimes it's just a bunch of static images, and those are still great artists, but they're not really that much in a car. That's why I say there's some cartoonists whose pictures aren't as pretty, but they're good at storytelling. They tell you a good story, they flow, and they make the action look like it's moving on the page. Joe Kubert taught that brilliantly.
Very cool.
So, and that's why it is an art form, and I love it. Though there's some Kubert. Oh man, I love his like I said, he did it all. Like a lot of superheroes were not his forte, but he still did it. War comics. His Sergeant Rock is just out of this world. He's easily the greatest war comics, and like I say, I think he's one of the top Tarzan artists. So,
I'd love to see more of his Tarzan. We saw a lot of
we
his.
will. We can definitely look at some of that later, yeah.
But I'd love to have a look at his work specifically.
Sure, we could look at some of his Tarzan.
And definitely, I have to say, out of all the things that you've taught me about comics, Wallace Wood, or is it Woods? I think it's Wood.
It's Wood. Wally Wood. Our buddy Mark, in deference to our good buddy Mark, our long lost buddy Mark C, who loved Wally Wood. He always used to say, "Yeah, but say Wallace," because Wally didn't like being called Wally; he liked Wallace. So Wallace Wood it is. That was something he used to tease me about a lot. So so it's Wallace, but he was a master.
He's one of the best comic book artists that you've ever shown me. I'm actually blown away by him. I actually think that I'd like to see more of his work because he makes me feel the same way George Perez makes me feel.
Wood had such a tragic life. It's just such a shame what
but his science fiction is pretty outstanding. And it sure makes its mark. I mean, it grabs you, and there's this realism to it. It's really nice, and at the same time, it depicts the mood of that epoch. It shows how we were thinking and how we decorated things and what we thought about about color and what we thought about culture and just everything. It's really, really beautiful. Really, really beautiful.
Absolutely. And hey, classic comics. Me too. Boy, I love Wally Wood's Thunder Agents. And God, I mean, the thing about Wood that's amazing is, again, if you look at the stuff he could do, for example, science fiction, as you can see, beautiful stuff.
The one woman that you showed with her body, her body, like
drawing women
in his tripwire spread that you showed, his woman is absolutely beautiful. Her body is amazing, but that I love this type of spacesuit.
Women.
This type of spacesuit for me, like I love this. I love this on men and women. I just look at even the man in the background. Yeah, look at her. Look at her back.
He loved risque art. He did a lot of stuff that I can't show, put it like that.
But look at how feminine her legs are. Like my legs look like that. I'm not She-Hulk. Like, look at that bold cover that you just showed. Like, look at how normal she looks. She looks
Hey,
so beautiful and normal.
Ezra Goldstein, welcome. Mark D is on an away mission tonight. He's not with us tonight. He's out there somewhere. Hopefully, we hope he's having a good time. So, yeah, Wally was known for his sexy. He was infamous for it because some people didn't like that the way he got called a sexist for the way he drew women. But the cool thing about it is he didn't give a shit.
I don't think so. I think that might have been at the time, but certainly nowadays when you look at his art, it's this celebration of the female form, and he seems to be capable of drawing women with different types of bodies, which is really nice. But that bold cover, that woman's legs on that bold cover are the most realistic I've ever seen a man draw a woman's legs.
He was just, I mean, look, Wally was just
that brown bold cover. That's pretty. Like, look at her legs, like Hungry Boy. Look at her legs. Like, her legs are real. That looks like a girl's legs. They're not big and muscly. They're not too long. They're not too short. They're just feminine legs. They're great. Look at the spacesuit.
Incredible stuff. Yeah. I hear you, Captain Finity. Don't go full on chicken. I won't. You know me. But he's really just nice. And then again, like I said, he was versatile. He could do comedy, and he did a lot of parody stuff. Super Duper Man and Stupor Man. Let's see. I was going to be careful with
everything. Everyone in the chat is saying they're really enjoying this. Oh, look at that font in Weird Science. That's great. Oh, and look at this font for Eerie. Really nice.
I have this.
Oh, look at this one in the far right-hand corner. Legend of Wallace Wood. With the two.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that book.
Oh my God.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Oh, man. I think I have the first. No, maybe I'm not sure if I have that first one of that or not, but I love it. I want it. I want that.
I love you, Canadian Spider-Man.
What do you say? What's it?
Oh, he's just being a sweetie.
A leg man.
Yeah. It's so nice to be around, people who can celebrate the human form. There seems to be so few of us left. Ooh. Nice.
He's just, I mean,
there's that guy. There's that guy that you taught me about. How did you know which one I was thinking? Daredevil, but the other guy is there. The bad guy. The Mariner. That's it.
Submariner. This is one of the greatest comics ever made, right here.
That's a beautiful cover. Did he do that cover?
Oh yeah, he did the interior and the cover.
Oh my God. Okay, well, he's really good at doing the Mariner.
I love him he did the Daredevil comic, and this was one of the greatest comics ever made. Here's a cool cover right here.
Oh, that's very modern.
I love this cover right here.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
That's
very Indiana Jones. Before Indiana Jones, I think, right?
I also loved him inking Kirby. He actually inked Kirby.
Oh, what?
On Sky Masters of the Space Force. I bought this cover right here. I think this cover, we did an all-time favorite covers. Our dear departed friend Mark C and I, we picked our all-time favorite covers. I think he picked this as one of his. He loved wood. I mean, wood was just
it's nice.
It was just
that's not an example of his best work, though. I would disagree with that.
No, but he loved this cover.
I would definitely pick one of his spacesuits, though, or one of his women, because the way he draws women is pretty sensational. I want to be drawn like that. Draw me like one of your French girls.
I always love this Daredevil cover right here. Just incredible.
Oh, that's nice as well.
Some of
once again, very wide catalog of genre here. You're seeing many different types of drawing techniques and many different genres. It's pretty outstanding.
Yeah. Again, great storyteller. Great cartoonist.
Yeah.
One of my all-time favorite covers right here.
Oh, that's a nice cover.
Yeah, I love Wally.
That's a pretty amazing cover. That's a nice cover.
Here's a really nice one as well.
Yeah. Oh my, that's pretty nice. I just love the font. The font is unbelievable. It's so good.
Oh, man, I love me some Hollywood Thunder Agents. My God. Oh, God.
This is great.
Yeah. Thunder Agents.
Cool.
So there you go, folks. The great Wally Wood. How about
Okay,
some?
so Wally Wood, and then I'm sorry, I beg your
Kubert
pardon.
Tarzan.
Please forgive me. What's the other guy again?
Joe Kubert Tarzan. Let's see. We could just look at some
Let's
Joe
go
Kubert in
look at
general.
Joe Kubert. Wallace Woods has definitely made an impact on me.
Oh, he was just
Joe Kubert.
extraordinary.
Let's see his Tarzan.
If you want to find some, just specifically some Tarzan.
Oh,
sure.
What is that? The NPR, the first one. Did he draw
Sergeant
that?
Rock. Yes.
Holy
Sergeant Rock by Joe Kubert.
SHIT Batman.
He was a master.
Oh, that's
he was
good.
That's one of his masterpieces, in my opinion. Sergeant Rock was the most famous of the war characters from DC.
Oh my gosh! And can we look
at
the one underneath it, the 3-panel?
Sure.
Oh my God! This is good. Oh, can we make it big? Can we just click on it?
I would have to.
Do we have to visit then? Oh, that sucks. I
see.
just want to see in detail. Oh my God. Okay, now Joe Kubert has also made an impact. Yes, this is a very, 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 very talented person.
On that one.
Wow. Look at that skull.
I love that.
It's nice. Not as nice as that 3-panel or that first one though. This is good.
3-panel wasn't all him. Well, 2 of it was.
That's beautiful.
But there's him at his desk with all these characters that he worked on.
That's cool.
I always love that picture.
Great Boy says, "Look at him in his studio."
Yeah.
Oh! There it is. There it is.
Whoa. Tarzan?
Mm-hmm. Let's see his Tarzan. Okay, his Tarzan's pretty epic.
I love this book right here. Tarzan, the complete Joe Kubert years. Oh my God! In fact, I'll just do a search on Kubert Tarzan. How about that?
Okay.
I might find some.
But I'm glad that you searched what you did search, though, because his military stuff. Now I see why you're like.
Oh, it's incredible.
Raquel, the military stuff will blow your mind. It blew my mind.
Well, it's war comics. I mean, like I said, Enemy Ace. I have
and it's all
this
World
book.
War I stuff, which is so. I love
World War One. Sergeant Rock is World War II, but Enemy Ace is World War One. I have this book right here, Big Treasury Edition.
Yeah,
I have a lot of his Tarzan issues. Claude has even more, way more. Too bad we'll never fully see Redeemer there, huh? Hunger Boy. But yeah,
the craziest thing is knowing that you grew up and you read these books when you were really young. And then these are all the pictures you had in your mind. And then you meet somebody like nearly 50 years later, and that person is like, "Hey, can I show you some comics?" And you look at the comics and you're like, "Oh my God, that's what was happening inside of my mind." And so it's this really weird process where these artists have done such an amazing job of bringing to life the things that you imagine when you're a kid, when you're reading it, when you're reading the books.
Sure.
The books don't have pictures, right? But it's funny because I wish I would have known a comic book person earlier. I would have loved to have read all these comics too.
The books do have great covers, like the Tarzan books. I love the Neil Adams covers on the Tarzan books.
Yeah.
But let's look at Enemy Ace. Enemy Ace. There we go. Oh my God, he was just. I mean, I love Sergeant Rock, of course, but Enemy Ace was he was definitely an anti-hero. Oh, good, there's one of my all-time favorite. I think this is one of the greatest comic covers ever made. Right.
Hi, Oliver.
Oliver Belamonte's here.
Yeah.
Hey there, Oliver. Good to see you, my friend. It was very entertaining read as Joe Kubert's sons Adam and Andy assisted their dad in 2006 6-part miniseries Sergeant Rock: The Prophecy. There you go. Yes, they did.
Did we say hello to Donnie Pearson?
I did, but I'll do it again. Donnie Pearson, hey there.
Sorry.
No problem. No problem at all. But I love this cover. That's probably my favorite Enemy Ace cover, but I also love this one here as well. So, or maybe this one rather.
Nice.
Yeah, he was brilliant.
When it comes to Joe Kuber, I like the way that he draws human beings, and I love the way that he draws faces. His faces are pretty mind-blowingly special.
Yep.
Really scary. Like when somebody can draw that well, it becomes frightening. There's no color, nobody did anything to it. It's just, crazy.
Yeah, great stuff. So anyway, folks, we have
Michael Beacon's here. And thank you so much, Captain Affinity. You're such a sweetheart of a human. I love your company so much. And you always have so many positive and wonderful things to say. And you're quick-witted and funny and sarcastic and wonderful. Thank you so much, Captain Affinity.
I always liked this character. He used to do Viking Prince. That was a good one. He was a good one.
Oh, that is nice.
So.
Oh, and Michael, I forgot to say, Michael Beacom, please say hello to Cassandra for me, please.
Indeed. Hello to Cassandra. So, there we go with the art.
May I please see the dragon?
Oops. I have to go back and get it now. Let me go back and get it. I can go back and get it. I can go back and get it.
No,
Was there
it's
a dragon?
okay. Don't
Where's
worry
the dragon?
about that.
No. That's good. Where's the dragon? Was there a dragon? I didn't even notice.
There was like a really nice. Well, I have like a soft spot for dragons. I'm a big dragon person. It doesn't matter how bad the movie is. If it has a dragon in it, I'll watch it. Oh no, we have yucky people here.
Bots. Oh boy, the bots. Well, got them.
Thank you. I can get them now.
Which dragon? Yes, you can. Yeah, I guess so. I don't know.
Oh my God!
Whoa!
He drew that.
That here?
He's so good.
It's a great dragon there.
That is a beautiful, beautiful dragon. And look at how it still looks like a bird-like, very dinosaur-like. Beautiful. I love his dragon.
Yep. Love me some Kubert. Love me some Kubert.
Really, truly blown away by his World War I and World War depictions of human beings.
Yes.
Really outstanding. It doesn't even need an ink, like I don't know what to call it. It doesn't even need a dot of color. It's that incredible, really, really talented person. And Wallace Wood, sir, wow. You and your science fiction, you are something else. So really nice picks this week, wouldn't you say, boss?
Absolutely. I think they did well. Like I said, I could have handled either of them being higher. They're both in my top 25, and so there you go. Tripwire again. I think they're going to have a lot of good ones in the top 10, but their placement before has just been garbage. So.
Yeah.
This
Chris and Eric, I love you both so much. Thank you so much, Canadian Spider-Man.
Yeah, I did get that one. I mean, I never know because you never know. I don't want to put you guys in any trouble. If I can grab it for you and save you from the trouble, I try. But you guys are usually faster than me.
But still, don't go anywhere because I love you and I want you here, not because you're French, but just because I love you. And Clobby's saying the same thing.
Yep, we just love having you here. Yeah, I say you never know. I mean, if they get them for me, that's cool too. So
that's right.
Anyway, and now, folks,
can we say it? Can we say that Tripwire got it okay this time? Can we say that? Are we safe?
Past couple of weeks, they've been putting some good ones in there, high up at least, but. Not, we'll see what their top 10 is going to be.
But like you were saying earlier, it's kind of hard for them to screw up. Is that at this point? Is that the case, Captain?
Well, I would say that it's probably going to be kind of hard for them to screw up the top 10. Although there's so many that they've had on here that should have already been in the top 10. That's what concerns me. But we'll see because they'll be doing starting 10 next week, I guess. So.
Wow.
There we go. We'll find out.
Did you hear that, folks? We're starting 10 next week.
Yes.
We're starting 10. Dun, 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 dun. Drum roll, please. Starting 10 next week. So we're either going to cry or we're going to laugh.
Or I might even yell.
Okay.
And now, of course, this segment I think everyone's really been enjoying is our wonderful first officer, number one has some. Well, take it. I'll just turn the helm over to you. You can tell them about what you've been doing over the past couple of weeks and what some things you have for us tonight.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Captain. I'm a weirdo sci-fi lover. I'm not really a geek. That's why I hang out with geeks because I love learning from you all. And so I'm a science fiction author and I'm a nerd, and I absolutely have not had the type of access to science fiction films that I've always wanted. And because of communications and technology and these advancements, I'm pretty happy that I get access to all of these American and UK films. So I've been celebrating them, and some are sent to me through the algorithm, which is very interesting to me as a communications and tech scholar. And some of them are sent by geeks and nerds. And good evening, Michelle O'Rourke Johansson, or Johansson.
Michelle O'Rourke Johansson, it is absolutely an honor. I think I've seen you over there at Midnight's Edge before. Welcome to CLOBBERIN Times. We always like to welcome new people when they show up in here. I am honored to have you here. Thank you for stopping in. We really appreciate it. This is CLOBBY'S Clubhouse. We do this on Thursday nights, usually with three of us, but one of our friends is not here tonight, Mark D, but we were persevering. And it is time for Raquel to talk about some old science fiction movies. But welcome, Michelle. Movies.
So the first one on deck was sent to me by Hungry Boy HB. Obviously, a lot of you in the community know he is he materializes here anonymously, but he is a preternaturally gifted comic book artist, and obviously a person who has studied fine arts extensively. And he's also the artist, the official artist of this channel and of my upcoming science fiction collection. So he gets a hold of me late at night because he's in Oz and I'm in Canada, and he says, I got a hot one for you. And this time it was a movie called The Trollenberg Terror. So I'm just going to add that visual to the screen. And it took me a while to find this visual, because this visual is actually really difficult to get a hold of, because there's an American version of this movie, The Trollenberg Terror. I'm going to read a little bit from Wikipedia to tell you a little bit about this movie, but I won't give away any spoilers. The Trollenberg Terror, which was also released in the US as The Crawling Eye, which I'm so upset about. It should not be The Crawling Eye. The visual should not be a crawling eye. They should just stop that. They're bad people. They deserve shin kicks. And if you're a member here, you can send shin kicks. You can even rover these people. Anyways, it is a 1958 British science fiction film, drama film. I would also call it a horror, produced by Robert S. Baker and Monty Berman and directed by Quentin Lawrence. The film stars Forrest Tucker, Lawrence Payne, Jennifer Jane, and Janet Monroe. The special effects are by Les Bowie. The story was based on a 1956 British ITV Saturday serial television program written by George F. Carr, Jack Cross, and Gilles Cooper under the collective pseudonym of Peter Kay. The film was distributed in the UK by Eros Film Limited in October 1958 as The Trollenberg Terror. The film was released in the United States by Distributors Corporation of America as The Crawling Eye on July 7th, 1958.
Claude Salling.
Hello. It played on a double bill with the British science fiction film The Strange World of Planet X, renamed Cosmic Monsters for American audiences. The Trollenberg Terror storyline concerns United Nations troubleshooter Alan Brooks, later joined by journalist Philip Truscott, investigating unusual accidents occurring in the area of a hotel in the fictional Mount Trollenberg in Switzerland. Brooks suspects that these deaths are related to a series of similar incidents that occurred 3 years earlier in the Andes Mountains, which include an unexplained radioactive mist and odd cloud formation believed by locals to be inhabited. So that's all I'm going to read from Wikipedia on this movie, The Trollenberg Terror. Oh my goodness, what an amazing movie this is. A great science fiction drama. I would call it science fiction horror. I just think it's absolute perfection. if you have not seen this, and if you have seen this, please go ahead and put your comments in the chat. But this was a new one for me. It's glorious. It is absolutely glorious. And Clobby, have you seen the Trollenberg Terror?
I don't think so. Even I don't know if I've seen it under its nom de plume. Was it the Crawling Eye? You say?
Mm-hmm.
Cloud Selling. Hello there. I guess. Now, correct me if I'm Hunger Boy. Did MST3K do the Crawling Eye? Maybe I'm thinking of something else. I don't know, but they did. So I've heard of the Crawling Eye. I don't know if I've ever seen it like in the old days, like in the 70s when they showed it on Dr. Shock. So no, I can't say, but I definitely haven't seen it called the Trollenberg Terror. When I saw Trollenberg Terror, it made me think Trollenberg. Was it like they're trolling? Just like an internet thing or what? So no.
Yeah.
So I have not seen it yet.
Well, I have to
it.
highly recommend it. So I want you to imagine, especially if you grew up in the 1970s like I did, although I think you grew up in the 1960s. If you grew up in the 70s like I did, and if you've ever been on a train,
There you go.
this is what happens when you're traveling across country in a train, especially in the mountains where I live in Canada, only this is in Switzerland. And you just have there's somebody on the train who just has to get off of the train. And so you get off the train and you're in the mountains, which is right exactly where I live. And she has a feeling, and they go into town, and everyone sort of seems a little bit frightened, and they can't quite figure out what's going on, but they do know that there is an odd mist in the hills. And this mist is doing terrible things, really, really incredibly violent things to human bodies. And they can't figure it out. And together they figure it out.
Look
I
who's
think
here.
one of my favorite sci-fi fantasies books that got me into the genre was 20,000. Oh, wow, me too.
Michelle, I love that book. I love that book. And
Yeah.
look who's here, the great Andy Masterson. What's up, buddy?
Hey, hello, Andy.
Had
Yeah, I
a terrific
love,
time hanging out with you last night, Andy. I really appreciate it, buddy. I hope you're doing great.
Yeah,
Sorry, go ahead.
yeah. Michelle, I love that you love books. That's where I come from. I don't know a lot about films. I'm just learning from the guys. I'm a book nerd, but yeah, absolutely love Jules Verne. So yeah, so they figure it out together. It's incredibly violent. It's more violence than I like, but the way that it's done, I was okay with it. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about and you're shaking your head, oh my goodness, this woman is a complete flower. I'm not. It's just because I read so many books, I am capable of doing things with my imagination where if I see gore, it's too much for me. So this movie might not even be a horror movie for a regular person. I'm just warning you. There is quite a violent decapitation, and it is shown in the British version. Now, Americans have not seen the UK version. And because I'm friends with Hungry Boy and I'm in Canada and he's in Australia, I was able to get a copy of the actual UK version. So I recommend it. It's amazing. It's amazing. Please watch it. I give it a 9. A 9. It's a 9 out of a 10.
They, according to it, looks like yes, this is a movie that was only ever known here as the Crawling Eye, and MST3K did do it in one of the earlier seasons, according to some of our friends here. And although Michael Beacom has it on DVD, I don't know if he has that version or not, but he likes it. And if I ever saw it, it was probably on MST3K, unless I saw it in the 70s or something on Shock Theater. So, in other words, which means I have no memory of it.
Well, apparently the Crawling Eye was cut completely differently, and it's almost an unrecognizable version of the film. So it's pretty important to qualify that if you're watching the Crawling Eye, you might think that I'm Looney Tunes for loving this movie and giving it such a high rating. It is important that you do get a hold of the Trollenberg Terror and watch it. It's really, really good. Your what? Your favorite author? What are your favorite authors? It's Edgar Allan Poe. I love Edgar Allan Poe. I only kind of like Anne Rice. I think she's pretty good. But Edgar Allan Poe? Yes! Oh my God, Michelle! Yes, Michelle!
Anne Rice from down from my neck of the woods down here in Louisiana.
Yeah.
Rest her soul. So there you go. We'll have to try this. Where'd you find this? Or where did
I
I know
think,
Hungry Boy sent it to you, but I mean, where do you get it?
yeah, I
Is it
think
out
it's
there where people can
available
find
at
it?
archive.org. If you go to
Okay.
archive.org, you should be able to download it. It will take you a while to find it. It took me a while to find it, but I absolutely love it. I highly recommend. If you love science fiction, this is a must. It's a must. And be warned, it's not the American version. This isn't a campy, stupid film where it's like, eyeballs. No, it's not like that at all. There's a decapitation and everything in it, so be prepared for that. And it's quite psychological. One girl is even sort of like, they try and write her as somebody who would be into the dark arts, like they put it off like she has like extra sensory perception, which was like a big thing, especially for Gene Roddenberry, and that was a very popular thing at the time. But they go a little bit further here. She does a little bit of the dark arts thing, sort of something that you would see in a gothic horror novel or in a gothic horror film. So really, really good. I don't want to give too much away. Hungry Boy nailed this recommendation. You must watch it. It's awesome.
Interesting that it's a UK film, has Forrest Tucker in it. That's the only name I recognize, really. So.
I don't
Forrest
recognize any of the names. All I know is they all did a smash up
He was
job.
an American actor. Yeah.
Glorious, glorious movie.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go, folks. Hello. How do you say that? Is it? I want to say it right.
Skogli? Yunton?
Skogli is a Jatoon. I don't want to mispronounce anyone, but
I think it's you.
A new friend, and we.
Yotun? Yeah.
Maybe he can tell us. But welcome, Skogli.
And Cam.
And Cam's here too. Good to see you, my friend. Always great to have new people show up and old friends like Cam. So
yeah,
absolutely. So what's next on the Hungry Boy docket?
Next, this is not Hungry Boy. This is the algorithm.
Okay. Michael Beacom.
You received a gift from Michael Beacom.
Thank you so much, my friend. $5 super chat. You are too kind. I appreciate you. He says, British science fiction ruled in the 50s and 60s. They did not look down on the genre as inferior or secondary or horror. See Night of the Demon.
Yes.
Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and totally correct comment. You are correct, sir. A lot of people look down on science fiction. And what do they know anyway? Oh, wow. Do you see where Michelle's from? She spent her life in Ireland and Norway. Michelle, I think I love you. Yeah, Michelle is so cool. What an interesting person, and I have so much in common with her. It's freaking me out. Okay. Yeah, look at this. Ireland and Norway. It's amazing. She's put a huge smile on my face. Welcome, Michelle. It is so nice to meet you, and this is great.
Indeed. So, Frank Gorshin. Oh my goodness. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, Invasion of the Saucermen was recommended to me through the algorithm. Now, this is aggregated data, and aggregated data is when all of your devices in your home are listening to you, and Fire TV and all of these different devices. I can't say the girls' names, but I have an Apple girl and an Android girl. And if I say their names, they're going to be like, yes. So I'm not going to say their names, but they listen to me. And so this is something that the Fire TV offered up with all of that aggregated data. And it is Invasion of the Saucermen. I'm going to be reading from wikipedia.org, so I can tell you a little bit about it without revealing too much. Invasion of the Saucermen, UK, the title is Invasion of the Hell Creatures, and the working title was Spaceman Saturday Night, is a 1957 black and white comic science horror fiction film produced by James H. Nicholson for release by American International Pictures. The film was directed by Edward L. Kahn and stars Stephen Terrell, Gloria Castillo, Raymond Hatton, and Frank Gorshin. Oh, and Six is here. Hey, Chicky. And she sent you a gift, boss.
6. Oh my goodness, my dear. Oh, you are too kind. I love you. It's so good to see you with a $10 super
Mwah,
sticker.
mwah.
666. What are you doing? Oh, I'm adding number 6 to that, so it does. So
Don't do that.
We've already. Yeah, I'm gonna say make it 66666 because. Hello there, Trevor Cunningham. By the way, I don't want to miss you.
Trevor's
Good to
here.
see you.
Nice to see you.
I added that other 6 because we've had enough superstitious, weird things happen to us tonight on this show
Yeah.
as it is.
That'll be
So,
enough of that.
yes, I love you, 6. Thank you so much for that sticker, my dear. I hope you are having a wonderful night. It is always just so great to see you.
We love you. And you're
Love
my
it.
partner in crime. You always will be. The screenplay by Robert J. Gurney Jr. and Alan Martin was based on a 1955 short story, The Cosmic Frame, by Paul W. Fairman. Invasion of the Saucermen was released as a double feature with I Was a Teenage Werewolf.
Oh, I remember that one.
Yeah, so I don't know
Michael
who
Landon.
has have you watched this movie? Go ahead and put it in the chat. What are your thoughts on Invasion of the Saucermen and Bossman? What did you have you seen this movie?
Again, if I did, it was probably in the 70s on Shock Theater, so I don't have any recollection of it. I very clearly remember I Was a Teenage Werewolf with Michael Landon, but this one, I'm just, again, I see the poster. Obviously, that doesn't tell you much because it's not a shot from the film. I don't know, but I'm just tickled seeing Frank Gorshin's name on there.
Yeah, so a flying saucer lands in the woods. A teenage couple, Johnny Carter and Joan Hayden, while driving to their local lover's lane without the headlights on, accidentally run down one of the saucer's large-headed occupants. And it sort of goes on from there. And I don't want to reveal too much. I will tell you this. When I put this up on my Twitter, people went wild for it. They were like, I watched this when I was little. It was so good. I thought it was pretty good. It wasn't my favorite, but I'll tell you something. It certainly doesn't deserve like the 5 out of 10 review it gets from the cool kids now. Those are just normies. Ignore them. For geeks and nerds, this is a really, really, really fun science fiction movie, and it's a comedy. And science fiction comedy isn't my favorite, and so I should say that. If this were a drama, I think I would rate it higher. But for now, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. A 7 out of 10. Invasion of the Saucermen. Make sure you bring a light with you wherever you go. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to ruin it for you.
And some milk to pour in the saucer. I'm sorry, different kind of saucer.
Then they would be cats.
Yes.
Then you would truly be the Saucerman. I think if
Indeed.
D.D. Meyer were here, if D.D. Myers was here, that would be great. He would love that
Yes.
because he loves
Yes.
cats. Okay. Without further ado, let's move on to Invaders from Mars.
This I remember. It's been a while, but I remember it.
Invaders from Mars and this one was produced, this one was given to me through the algorithm. Hungry Boy did not send this to me. Invaders from Mars is a 1986 American science fiction horror film. I agree with those genres. Directed by Toby Hooper from the screenplay by Dan O'Bannon and Don Jacoby. It is a remake of the 1953 film of the same name and is a reworking of that film's screenplay by Richard Blake from an original story by John Tucker Battle. Wow, that's a lot of people writing. Its production was instigated by Wade Williams, millionaire exhibitor, science fiction film fan, and somewhat writer, producer, director. How many people wrote this? Who had reissued the original film in 1978 after purchasing the copyright to the property. Elaborate creature and visual effects were supplied by Stan Winston and John Dykstra. So the plot is George Gardner encourages his 12-year-old son, David's dreams, to become an astronaut by stargazing with him. He works at NASA, just so you know. A thunderstorm wakes David, and he observes a strange alien spaceship landing on Copper Hill just beyond his house. The father agrees to investigate, but returns behaving strangely. That happens the next day. And with an unexplained mark on the back of his neck. David's mother, Helen, and others as well soon become similarly changed from their normal selves, worrying David. And so that's from Wikipedia. Clobby, what did you think of Invaders from Mars?
Well, I never watched it, but I remember it very well at the time, seeing Siskel and Ebert review it. I saw every movie coming out back then, but for some reason, I don't think I went to see this one. So I don't know if I ever watched it on cable. I'm not opposed to it or anything. Look at that cast, by the way. And Tobe Hooper, of course, we know is a pretty big name. So I don't think I ever watched. I'm pretty sure I didn't. So nothing to say about it other than it looks like it's pretty good. I know it's a remake. I think I've seen the original actually on Shock Theater.
Okay, well, I didn't really like it. I
Okay.
didn't think it was very good. I mean,
Okay.
I didn't think it was bad, but it was like E.T., the movie E.T., like as a movie, ate the Goonies. Right?
Yeah.
And so
you're
you're sort of watching this horror version of E.T., and it has so many Goonies aspects. It's quite strange. It's a lot of fun. Would I recommend avoiding it? No. You should watch this. Watch it, but but this one's not a comedy, but you will laugh at it, and you'll actually laugh more than you had laughed at the Invasion of the Saucermen. I don't. That's just what happens.
Okay.
So Invaders from Mars gets a 6 out of 10 from me. And then last, but certainly not least, I have something that I received from Hungry Boy that was very hard to find, even on archive.org.
Wow.
It is a movie called Seconds. Seconds is a 1966 American psychological horror science fiction film directed by John Frankenheimer, starring Rock Hudson, Salome Jens, John Randolph, and Will Geer. The film tells the story of a middle-aged New York banker who, disillusioned with his life, contacts an agency known as The Company, which specializes in providing rebirths, ergo seconds, under new identities and appearances altered by plastic surgery. The screenplay by Louis John Carlino was based on a 1963 novel of the same title by David Ely. I did not know that. I'm going to write that down because now I want to read this book. See, Hungry Boy wouldn't let me do any investigations. He's like, wait, you'll hate yourself if you investigate. And Hungry Boy's right. I would hate myself. It's true, because now I'm like excited. Anyway, filmed in New York and Malibu, California in 1965, Seconds was entered into, I know this part, the 1966 Cannes Film Festival, or Cannes as the Americans say, and released by Paramount Pictures. The cinematography by James Wong, or Wang, however he wants to pronounce that, was nominated for an Academy Award. In 2015, the United States Library of Congress selected the film for preservation in the National Film Registry, finding it culturally, historically, and aesthetically significant. Well, I think that's an understatement. That's a total understatement. This is a very bold, very provocative, cerebral, visually stimulating, beautiful, beautiful place to go. This has a very bookish quality to it. It's beautiful. And the reason why this isn't like the number one film of this time, what's the year again, 1966? The reason why this film is not the greatest movie of your childhood or the greatest movie of your youth is because audiences stepped in and basically had this film banned. Because they said that the winemaking, it's sort of like they were emulating Dionysus. So they all got into a wine vat and they were crushing grapes. And there were people who were saying that it was sexually vulgar and that it was obscene and that they wanted the film banned. They wanted it out. So that happened. And when you watch this film, you're going to be like, wow, that is the dumbest thing in the world that could have happened to this film. Because had that not happened, this would have been one of the greatest films in human history. And so I feel like it got robbed. I feel really, really bad for this film. This film is a stroke of genius. This film is a 10 out of 10. It's a 10 out of 10 for sure. It has everything. It is gorgeous, glorious, cerebral, well wrought, beautifully filmed. There's tension. There are no plot holes. You're frightened, but it's in a scientific way. But then you're also frightened because you know you're going to die. And the closing scene is one of the worst reflections on what it's like to be a selfish human being. This film is gorgeous, and every single person should watch it. Every single person should buy it. It's beautiful. And that's it.
I wonder if it probably got snubbed by the Academy there at the time. I'm looking at some of these names on here. From John Frankenheimer, that's a name to be reckoned with. Jerry Goldsmith was been very young doing scores at that point. Wow. But look at the names in this sucker. So I've heard of it many times, and I can't say I've ever seen it. And where do you find it?
I found it at archive.org. I had to look with Hungry Boy tried to send it to me, and we tried to share it on the drive, but it wouldn't allow it. I don't know if that's my country, because I'm in Canada, we have heritage laws, and so some things get blocked and I can't touch them even if I want to. Or what was going on with it, because he and I are both on Max, so I don't know what happened, but I couldn't get it. So I don't know, at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, he's like, let's go get it together. So I went on my Fire TV and I went and I found it through archive.org, and it wasn't easy. I had to dig through the files because it has an odd name, Seconds. So that actually, through the Boolean tool, through the search tool, that will populate so many different things. It's a nightmare to try and find it. But if you want, get a hold of Hungry Boy, because you're good friends with him and he can help you find it. For everybody else, just going to have to be patient. I think it's on like the 3rd page of through the Boolean tool, through the search tool on archive.org, where you can get it for free.
I will do, Hungry Boy. I'll definitely want to see that. Let's see. Michael Bigum says, unquestionably snubbed by the Academy. 1966 science fiction was Irwin Allen. Yeah, it was before it was right around Star Trek just coming out. So, yeah, you're right. All American science fiction, really. After Forbidden Planet, that was such an exception as far as a science fiction film taken seriously in America, anyway. That it was pretty much the next time science fiction got taken seriously, other than Outer Limits or even some of the episodes of Twilight Zone, or was it One Step Beyond? Usually it wasn't. So it was rarely treated seriously, and in movies, almost never.
And the thing is that it's not even a long scene, and it's a vital scene. So it's stream of consciousness. So it has this elevated cerebral and literary quality. You have this stream of consciousness when somebody is inordinately inebriated. And you look over, and it is the depiction of the Greek mysteries of Dionysus. So Dionysus, okay? So all they're doing is standing in a giant wooden barrel with grapes, crushing them. But because he's so inordinately inebriated, he sees things in such a distortion. But that's not the reason to throw out the rest of the film. I mean, the rest of the film, like even this part of the film, is gorgeous, but no matter how much of a pearl clutcher you are, I just don't even understand it in socio-historical context, how someone could say that was like pornographic and that it was depicting an orgy scene. It was not. And that it doesn't even venture near the periphery of that. It is so gorgeous and such a perfect film. This film should have been one of the biggest films of our lives, of our entire history. It's crazy to me that they did this to this film.
Wow, Classic Comics says apparently Seconds is on Amazon Prime. Thank you. Cool.
In the United States, you're lucky, baby.
I think he's over here. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, so, good.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And if you can, just buy it. I highly recommend it. There is a reason why the National Film Registry and the United States Library of Congress has done an about face, and they're adding this to the film preservation as culturally, historically, and aesthetically significant film. It should be. And shame on all of the people who did that when it was just a little bit of a Greek, like an homage to a Greek ritual when somebody was inebriated. There was no reason to go insane like that. That was a dumb reaction to this beautiful, beautiful film. And this film will blow your mind. It is a beautiful film.
They didn't whine about it when Lucy was playing around in the winery. So.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah. So there you go. Well, there you go.
Yep.
Damn. And this is available apparently Amazon Prime. Canada also has it, but you will have to purchase and rent it. So, but at least
yes, you have to buy it.
At least it's available. Though.
You can also just go to archive.org.
No.
So I highly recommend going to there to get it, or just buy it. But I mean, buy physical media, right?
Yep. Michelle says because people tend to see what they want to see and draw their own conclusions and feelings instead of taking the time to actually see it for the beautiful and literary moment of movie that it is. That is absolutely correct. Absolutely there, Michelle. Couldn't agree more.
I love Michelle. She's terrific. I'm so glad that you're a part of this conversation. And that's all I have from my film segment. And as far as pop culture goes, I just wanted everyone to know that today there are people that are selling the adult McDonald's Happy Meal toys on eBay for $300,000. You can buy them you can pull it up on the Google if you want. But yes, there is someone who is selling all three of the Happy Meal toys that are currently available for $300,000. And you will find a few people on there selling them individually for as little as 25,000 American dollars. So that's in my pop culture news. In other pop culture news, last week I warned you about some stuff that Netflix is doing. They're going to be adding commercials and trying to sort of reinstitute this sort of cable television ecosystem. I want you to know that it is official after running some testing in some countries overseas, as well as extensively in Latin America. Netflix is going to be phasing out their sharing. So worldwide sharing is going to cease by the new year. And you should go and look up some of those articles because it's hard to explain how they're going to roll this out, but basically they're going to tier you up. So, and by tier, let's not have hapless homophones here. These are not the tears you're going to cry when you realize you're not allowed to share your streaming services. I mean tier as in TIER. So you'll be prompted to buy up. So you'll get
if you want to avoid commercials and stuff, huh?
No, you won't be allowed to share anymore.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You have to buy up if you want to get it like a special tier where you don't have to get commercials or whatever. Probably.
Well, there's that, but now
like,
you won't be. Now you also won't be
share.
able to share.
Oh my, yeah.
So you go to log into, let's say, your neighbors or your sisters or your cousins or your daughters or your parents or your mom and dad's Netflix, and rather than just being fully blocked from it, it's going to shadow you, and then it will offer you to buy your own membership.
It's a good thing I don't need Netflix anymore then. And by the way, I just want to say, Michelle said couldn't be more happy in her life now, and says she's because we just met Michelle, so she's a new friend, so it's good to know these things. She's married the love of her life and has a daughter and a young son and a son on the way. Well, congrats on that, Michelle. Yay! It's good to hear. And so she mentioned earlier that she's a writer, talked about her stories a little bit and stuff. And hey, well, there you go, Michelle. It's good to hear that. I don't need Netflix that much. I needed it. The last time I used it was for Cobra Kai because I love Cobra Kai. And, we do have I think we have a subscription where a bunch of us use the, all use the codes. So if they're going to change that, they can go screw. Some of the other services we have, we do the same thing with. Hopefully they won't follow suit, but they probably will at some point. And they're going to find out that's probably not a good idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well,
Probably
we'll
not a
see.
good idea.
We'll
You're
see
right.
the Mira
There, my friend.
We'll see how it pans out, but
Yeah.
everyone should know and everyone should be prepared. They're going to start this just after Christmas. And it is my understanding that they're hoping to have it rolled out fully and no more sharing of codes or passwords by 2023, early 2023. So good evening, Tiger Stripes.
Hey, Tiger Stripes. And Hungry Boy just DM'd me the link for seconds. Okay, thank you. Appreciate that, buddy. I'll check. It might be on Amazon Prime, though. Tiger Stripes says I just finished binging Stranger Things Season 4 last week. It was terrific, but then I'll cancel Netflix because that's how I frugally roll. Well, I can understand that. And like I said, I saw something. Michelle was saying something about how she husband doesn't like you watching was it Ragnarok on Netflix because it gets you homesick. You cry, gets you crying for homesick. Oh my. Yeah, well, but if you're enjoying the show, I guess, I mean, what can I tell you?
Oh, you're a beautiful person. And I hate to roll back here, but because I was trying to clean up the behind the scenes in the studio here, getting rid of some papers on the floor, I missed this, and I'd love to highlight it. Chris Persia says, Raquel, I wouldn't be surprised if Netflix will have an expansion plan for a fixed amount. You will have to be a specified number of devices using one account. Chris, that is exactly what they are trying to do. They're trying to implement that. They just don't want any more abuse of it. So we'll see. But to buy this super plan, what you're proposing, and Chris, you probably already know this. I mean, you and I are friends. I know you know. I know what you know. I get a pretty good idea of how informed you are. That would mean that they would try the same things, the same strategy that Spotify used, and it worked for Spotify because now Spotify has like a plan that costs 3 times the amount of money, and you can have, I think, what is it, Chris, in Canada? I forget, honey. It's like 4 or 5 people, family members, on that same account. So, but you do have to pay more. But the way that Spotify did it, it worked. And if Netflix is smart, they're going to try that. But I'm not sure if it's going to work. I haven't seen what they actually did in Latin America, but whatever it was encouraging because nobody revolted. So excellent comment. And Chris Persia, you know I love you. Thank you.
They're the ones who set it up to have all the multiple accounts on there. When I go on mine, it says my name and my son's name and my daughter's name and about 4 or 5 names on there. Yeah. So they set it up that way. They're the ones. Screw them.
Cam has to leave. He says, Cam's crash course.
Cam.
I gotta pop off. Real pleasure to see everyone. Thanks, Clubby and Raquel, for all you fine people. Have fun and be well. Good night.
Always
sweetheart.
Great to see you, Cam. There you go. So it's not like Netflix they encouraged it, so now they're whining about it. Screw them, the cheap. Stop making trash so much. And yeah, they make good stuff, obviously. Too, they do some good stuff. But for me, I only really like, for example, when we, because for those of us, those new here, we have a show called Saturday Night Star Trek that Raquel and I were reviewing all of real Star Trek 66 through 05 every Saturday night. And even though I have, of course, the original series and Enterprise, I don't have all the other series. So it was useful when all the Star Trek was on there, but they took it off. After that, I have hardly used it other than I love Cobra Kai. I watched that. Someone here mentioned that they like Stranger Things. I don't watch it, but a lot of people watch that. But I don't really have much use for them right now. I mean, until Cobra Kai comes back, and I could always join up to them next time that comes out, and then drop it after that. When because it's going to be a year probably. So to hell with them. I mean, but then if you got shows you watch on there, I understand though.
Well, I think the bottom line for people to remember is that it's a huge corporation, and so far Netflix has played the fool, but they're playing the long game, right? In 1997, you could walk into a shopping mall in your country or in my country, and you could walk over to a vending machine and you could insert some money and you could get a movie and you could rent the movie. And this was all happening in 1997, right when people were losing access to their local video store. And certainly Blockbusters were closing down everywhere. And so I think they've played their cards right, which is to rope in as much content as possible while you're a pioneer in the industry. I mean, they pioneered this streaming service, and they led the way with it. And then they got everyone on board, and they got everyone interested in it, and everyone looking at it, and everyone seeing it, and everybody wanting to be a part of it. And yet we knew that their business model that they were using before was untenable. There's no way that you could sustain that because it wasn't making money. And I knew, obviously everybody who listens to me knows that in 2017 I predicted that they would actually pancake flip their whole business model and begin to start emulating a cable company, the old fashioned cable companies. In fact, since 2017 I've been telling people that all of the streaming services are going to do that, and we're going to wind up with streaming cable TV. And so I think that's what they're trying to do. They were trying to draw everyone into the fold, and they started as this wee little company in 1997, renting from vending machines in malls. And now look at them. Now they're a streaming giant, and they want you to help them become the biggest cable company, quote unquote, cable company for streaming services. And I think they might succeed. But I do have to say, I told you so.
Nah, you did. And in Iran, that's the thing. We're not sure whether they haven't announced whether Cobra Kai will get another season or not. So, I'm kind of content with them ending in here, but obviously I would watch if they do another one. So yeah, I can dump Netflix with no problem. I don't think there's anything on there I want to see. But some of our friends here have said that they do watch some of the stuff on there, so I do understand that for sure. I'm just an old bastard, doesn't watch a lot of new stuff, doesn't care for a lot of new stuff. Rarely is there anything new I like to watch. Once in a while, a few things here and there, but I'm content watching the older stuff. And now they don't even, they got rid of Star Trek here. I've heard that they're starting to bring it back on some of the Netflix in other countries if they haven't got rid of it already.
They never touched it in Canada.
Pop Culture Republic. Okay, so it's still on there.
Pop.
So it's still in Star Trek. I mean, it's still in Canada, right?
Yeah. But I mean, the story isn't all bad, because remember what I talked to you guys about when we talk about corporate hegemony. Oh my goodness, anti-derivative Jill is here.
Jill, what's up?
Hello, sweetheart. Yeah,
good to see you. They go
we do see a restoration of buying power once they all give in to what we know they have to give into, and that is to give into the typical radio and television ecosystem. And in so doing, Clobby, what's really cool is they're going to force a la carte. Before in cable, you used to have base cable, and then you would have to buy up into all of these different channels, and you would have to have this channel in order to order this channel, and so on and so forth. Now we may be able to reverse things and get back that power and force them to make beautiful things again by ordering the channels a la carte. So it's not all bad, and people should express their feelings in their dollars. If Netflix does not have the kind of content you want, I want you to sort of celebrate a little bit. This is the dirty good stuff that I told you guys was going to happen, which is you having the power to say, I'm not going to watch that anymore. Then go make something good, or I won't watch your quote unquote channel. So them turning cable-ish, cable TV-ish is what you were waiting for. And I knew they were going to do it, and I'm happy they did it, because it puts the power back to the people. So it's good stuff.
Well said. Very encouraging. Of course, look, look, Donnie Pearson, I hear you. Look, most people watch new stuff. I'm just a grumpy old bastard. I'm an anomaly. I'm definitely an outlier. Most people watch combinations of old and new, or some people have a lot of new shows they watch. Let me see. When it comes to new shows, something that is produced and coming out right now as a series, obviously it's up in the air, as Khalil was saying about Cobra Kai. I've watched, let me see if I can think of something new I've watched. Because I know Raquel watches more new stuff than I do, probably. So I liked Reacher. I'll probably watch that when it comes back on. Obviously, the new Beavis and Butthead I'm in love with, because I got my Beavis and Butthead back, my beloved idiots, and I love them. And that's really fantastic. I'm taking it slow on that one. I've learned my lesson, and I'm just loving that. Let's see. What else is there? There's got to be something else that's recent that I've watched.
I only like two recent things that are new that I love. Yellowstone and Reacher.
Okay.
And the rest of it's crap.
Reacher's cool. let's see. There's something else though. It's got to be something recent that I've watched. There may be, but yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I can't really. I there are a couple things I do want to watch that are recent that even I will probably take a look at soon. Primal, I want to see Primal. Everyone, Nick loves that one, and I saw part of one of those a while back when that looks really good. And but no, for the most part, my friends, I'm so immature that I love watching my old stuff, and right now I can't get enough of watching old cartoons. I'm not just talking Bugs Bunny or something like that. Well, I do love those old superhero cartoons. Watching a lot of 90s superhero cartoons and stuff like that. That's how ridiculous I am. In addition, of course, we review Star Trek every week. So we're on review, and now we're on Deep Space Nine. So, you know, we've got that going for us. And every once in a while, I'll get in a wild hair. And for example, we're coming to that time of year because I'm a huge Doctor Who fan, and Doctor Who, of course, has been destroyed for many of us, unfortunately. It's one of the most tragic things ever happened to any fandom ever, right up there with what's happened to Star Trek and Star Wars, right down there, I should say. We're getting close toward the 59th anniversary of the show. And you got the ending of they're not really ending this era the way I think it should end, but at least they're getting rid of Jodie. Next week, isn't it next week her last episode airs where she regenerates, or I think, it's coming up soon. And it's just, I'm flipping channels the other day. Pluto TV has a Doctor Who channel of solely old stuff, and every now and then I get the bug again to go back and watch real Doctor Who, whether it's the classic show, which I love the most, or even the revamp when they brought it back from 2005 to around 2013 when it started turning into Garbaggio. So I might get a Doctor Who bug again and take on a tangent with that probably. And again, sometimes I get the Star Trek bug. I'll be sitting around going, damn, now I'm all of a sudden in a Star Trek mode. Boom, I got to watch me some Trek. Not just the ones we're reviewing either. I mean, I got to throw me a Trek on there because I never get tired of that. So I jump all over the place. But the new stuff, I don't really care much for the modern aesthetic when it comes to new TV or movies. You know,
it's corporate writing. It's crap. Crap.
I'm that way with movies too. You know, let's see. Kal-El says, sorry, I'll be right there, Columbus. Clobbering says, I might watch it yet. I don't mind disagreements by a long shot. I might. Well, no, look, that's a thing here. Anyone who's new here, we should reiterate this sometimes. Disagreements are always welcome. People who disagree are always welcome here. You'll always be treated with respect. Yeah, we have a sense of humor. We kid each other about stuff, but you don't have to agree with us or anything like that. All opinions are welcome here, and we always look at it as in good fun. We like to hear everyone's opinions, and as long as you're not afraid of opposing opinions yourself, you're always welcome here. You don't have to agree with me on anything. But I like seeing other opposing opinions, and more importantly, an opposing opinion can't hurt you. You know, it always just freaks me out, the people who take it so personally. If someone, either way, by the way, they really hate something that you love, or vice versa, something you think is the worst garbage ever, and someone thinks it's good, and you get mad at them, and you get angry with them and stuff like that. There's a lot of that going around, and we've got to get away from that kind of crap. Either way, you need to be able to tell us, look, it's a TV show, it's a movie, whatever, man. It's, of course, if you disagree with me on Star Trek, then I'm gonna have to hurt you. Just kidding, love you. Cal says, I find myself watching more YouTube than any official streaming service or cable these days. To quote a great YouTuber, the fans are doing the best work. I concur. I do believe so. I do agree with that.
Chris asked me something earlier, and I just want to get to it because it's gotten really far back because I keep pushing it back. Yeah, I'm really sorry. But Chris says, Raquel, is that the Reacher movies or the Reacher series? I don't really like action movies. And I think the Reacher movies are the ones with Tom Cruise. Yeah, I find Tom Cruise unbelievable as a hero because he's quite tiny. Like, he's just a wee person. So when I saw the Reacher movies, I wasn't like, oh, wow, awesome, because I'm not a huge Tom Cruise fan, and I don't buy him as an action hero. But the Reacher series has this man in it, and he is gigantic. And he looks like this military
Yeah.
person with all of this military
He's
training.
really good.
But what's weird about this whole situation, Chris, is that he's not a meathead. He's not like a big dumb moron. This actor, you can tell he's intelligent, or at least he's really good at playing that character. He's more Clint Eastwood than that Jason Momoa guy that I don't like. And the other nitwit there, the one who plays Thor, I forget his name, the blonde guy.
Chris Hemsworth, I kind of like him.
Chris Hemsworth, right. Reacher is gritty like Clint Eastwood, and is big, too big for me. It's not my style of body. I like a rugby player. He looks like a cartoon guy. He's so big. He's big, he's sexy, and you buy him as a smart CIA guy. You also buy him as as a guy who was in the war and saved people's lives, because he's also not so beefy that he looks like he can't move. Like, oh, dude, I feel so bad for you. You poked yourself so many times in the bum, you don't have a neck anymore. So that's not what's going on with this guy. So this guy's pretty much like, I would say, the perfect modern superhero for films. This new guy, I don't know his name. Clobby knows his name. My husband made me watch it. I was
Chris
like,
Hemsworth?
this guy's awesome.
Which one? Oh, Chris Hemsworth? Thor?
Yes.
You don't like him?
Whom?
Now, who did you say was awesome again?
I like the Reacher guy.
Oh, the guy in Reacher. Yeah, that guy. I think he's really cool. Yeah, I can't stand. I'm the world's biggest Tom Cruise hater. Everybody, I can't stand him. But I wouldn't even watch his movies. But I love the Reacher show and enjoyed it. And that guy is really good. Yeah. And Tiger Stripe says you don't have to worry about liking Momoa, because Tiger Stripes will take your share. There you go.
You go right ahead.
It's a fair cop. The other night I went on a tirade about how for those Monday night on my Monday Night Comics show. Everybody, I went on a tirade about the MCU characters that were ruined for sake of the new MCU that we have now. So anyway. Let's see what's some of these comments I saved there. Oliver says, Clobby Raquel, you have any favorite sci-fi time machines in TV or film? Doctor Who, Phone Booth, DeLorean, Car Terminator. That's a good question, because Captain Finity said, don't talk about time. He says, anyone bring up time travel and bring it. I'm sorry.
For me.
It's Oliver's fault. I'm just kidding. We appreciate the question. You can answer first, number one. First.
For me, it's H.G. Wells' Time Machine. I have I collect copies of it. I think I have a couple of super old copies, and then a couple of academic copies. So footnoting and glorious things that other people don't like, so you don't have to do marginalia. So things from socio-historical context, so that you can unpack it and look at all of the different diction and the different things being chosen. So I absolutely love H.G. Wells. I'm a huge H.G. Wells fan, and so obviously I'm going to choose him for the Time Machine.
Well, Oliver, my favorite is because, well, again, I've already let the cat out of the bag. I'm a Doctor Who fan. My favorite time machine will always be the TARDIS. I think the reason being, the Doctor Who does have a lot of science fiction in it, but it mixes some things with sort of fantasy elements. And when I say it's sort of like those who remember City on the Edge of Forever. That's one of the greatest episodes everything's ever done in all of TV history, in my opinion. It's a beautiful episode.
True.
Now, it has time travel in it that is in it. It is not explained, that you're supposed to. You go into this episode buying into that this being or these beings put this machine on this planet that has now been there for eons, but is laid waste. But this being or whatever, this portal can send you anywhere in time and space in the universe. Now, you could say that's not really science fiction-y because it's not explained. Yet the episode works on such a wonderful, beautiful, emotional level. You just don't care. I don't care. You can say, well, explain this. You can't, and I don't care. That's an example of me giving it a pass to where its time travel does not need to be explained, because these beings are so far, and it had to build it. They're so far in advance of us. I don't need an explanation if the story is good. Now, other science fiction, you do need a lot of explaining. It just varies. Whereas Doctor Who, the premise is the Time Lords, again, similar to the Guardian, to whoever created the Guardians of River, Time Lords of Gallifrey are thousands of years. They're considered like the most advanced race there is, just about, at least in galactic history. And they've come up with there are a lot of really great ideas behind what the TARDIS is, which is later explained. But basically, even if you don't explain it too much, it looks like it's stuck in the shape of a police call box, a London police call box. It's really a time machine that is almost infinite on the inside. The chameleon circuit makes it disguise itself to hide its surroundings. It could go anywhere, almost in a matter just of minutes, just about anywhere in the universe, anywhere in time and space. And it just, because the Doctor stole the malfunctioning one. When he lands it on Earth in the 1960s, it gets stuck in that form, and it became the beloved thing we see, the police call box. And that's all I need. You've got a character like the Doctor, who's such a brilliant character, and you have a premise that allows you to go anywhere in time and space for your stories. It's one of the most magnificent things ever conceived of for me by any science fiction or even science fiction / fantasy concept ever on television for me. And that's why I love the show so much, but also because I love the character of the Doctor so much and many of his companions. So nothing even comes close to that. And that even our buddy, Captain Finity, who will fight you on time travel all day long, even he's a Doctor Who fan, because he accepts that this, if you don't buy into that concept, you can't watch the show, and that's fine. You don't have to watch the show. But if you do watch the show, you go, the Doctor has a machine that is just of extraordinary power, but clever writers they wrote in some handicaps, like it's old, it's malfunctioning, it brings them all over the place, and can't control it all the time. And there you go. So for me, I love the H.G. Wells time machine, of course. I love the Back to the Future time machine. I love a lot of time machines.
And Star Trek. Like Star Trek does some really good time travel in TOS.
They've done some, although I don't always prefer Trek. But
and it's not always good. Like the alternative factor is not good. But when the Holy Trinity breaks out the time travel compared to everybody else's time travel, it's pretty darn good.
There are sometimes I love it in Trek, and sometimes I'm not fond of a time travel in Trek. But it's really, if you boil it down, it's only happened a few times. But the TARDIS, which means, of course, stands for Time and Relative Dimensions in Space, is my favorite. One thing I will say about time travel in Trek, I love the episode Trials and Tribulations, but there you've got the prophets. They've got the orb of time. So you just kind of buy into it. It's crazy, but it's from an otherworldly power. I mean, it's so out there, you kind of just buy into that episode because it's all fun. But there was a line at the beginning of that episode that always kind of bothered me, but not to is and I love, that's my favorite episode. I mean, I love it. But when they find out, and he goes, the Enterprise, be specific, Captain, which Enterprise? There have been 5, 6, NCC 1701. He goes, first, what Constitution class? Goes, his ship, James T. Kirk. He goes, that great look on Cisco's face when he says, the one and only, because the man was a menace. 17 record violations on his file, the biggest in history. Go, wait a minute, 17? Not 17. Come on, 17? There were how many Trek episodes, or including a movie, that wasn't a violation either? Did he? That was a funny line, but you guys should probably tone that down. There's no way Kirk had that many time travel stories.
What have we got? We got the Naked Time. We've got Alternative Factor. Tomorrow is Yesterday.
Naked Time was an accident, but it didn't violate. Remember, it was supposed to go into time. Tomorrow's Yesterday, right? So Tomorrow's Yesterday, we'll give him that.
City on the Edge of Forever.
City on the Edge of Forever was he was ordered to that planet to investigate the time. He didn't know there was a time machine there.
This is true. Wink of an eye.
Was there
I'm
time
not sure if I buy this. All Our Yesterdays. I'm not sure if I buy that argument. I don't think it was 17 times. Was it 17?
17. I'm having trouble finding 1 or 2 or 3. To be honest with you, just I know that strayed away from your question there a little bit there, but I've always wanted to take care of to look into that, and now we've probably got a million chats that I haven't been able to see.
Captain Cockney Spock with the new name Captain Finity, he's having a laugh, and I think we're actually repeating like a conversation that we had a year ago, and I think he's tickled because from his comments, although I could be wrong because, text doesn't carry any emotion, but I think we're actually repeating conversation we had a year ago with high fidelity. And I think it's starting to scare Captain Cockney Spock. He's like, oh boy. So,
just saying.
Consistent.
Yeah, but it's not 17 violations. It's not even a few. By the way, Tiger Stripes, Mirror is not a time does nothing to do with time travel at all.
No.
It's an alternative dimension, but it's not time travel, my friend.
Nope.
But that's cool. This conversation is literally informing my next video. Well, I'm honored to hear that.
We love you, honey.
Yeah. So yeah. Now I think I might just start getting. I was just flipping through Pluto TV last night and landed on a John Pertwee episode of Doctor Who, and now might be start getting back into Doctor Who mode. Just go back and start. Now you're probably better off never being into Doctor Who, Raquel, but it's just not a pain. But I love it and I miss it. And I've been a fan of Doctor Who this year, marks 40 years being a fan of Doctor Who, and I'm an ugly American. I'm not supposed to be allowed to like it because of it's British. You Britishers don't like us Americans loving
in
Doctor
Canada.
Who.
It was on, I believe it at the time in the part of the country I was in, it was only on PBS, and it was the black and white version. And I remember being at work with my mother, and someone turned it on the TV, and I watched it for about 20 minutes. And I was quite young, and it didn't resonate with me the same way Star Trek did, but that doesn't mean that it wouldn't now. But you also know that I'm a bit of a weirdo, right? It's that idea of Forbidden Planet. It's that idea of Captain Nemo. It's that idea of Gene Roddenberry. It's that idea of Jules Verne. That's my idea of science fiction. I don't know why. It's some sort of weird gothic horror, steampunk. We're on the cusp of mechanization, or mechanization is very vulgar and apparent. I just like that sort of thing. I don't know why. I'm a freak.
I have my email listed in the description below, Michelle. You can send me anything you want anytime.
Yes. Send us a poem.
Yep. And of course, I'm on Twitter. I don't know if you're on the Twitter, the Twitters are not there, Michelle, but sure. Anyway, yeah, no, good. No, oh, good. So I'm allowed. It's okay for me as an ugly American to love Doctor Who. Because I always have to ask my British friends that.
The captain has absolved the other captain.
See, Doctor Who, of course. It's the one thing, because we know how you are. Number one, you like to start stuff from the beginning. Raquel, I like to pick on her, everybody, because she can't just say, like, for example, you know what? I got into Star Trek Moon. I just threw on the Doomsday Machine because I just got in the mood to watch it again. No, she's got to start at the beginning.
I do.
And then go all the way to the end of Enterprise, all 735, which we've got. I'm trying to break her of that. I'm never going to be able to break her of that. However, I myself am not so well disciplined, so I can be sitting around. Like I think I've told you this before. Back when it was on Netflix, for example, and I was too lazy to open my DVDs or my Blu-rays. Yeah. I can be sitting there when I go after a long day of work or whatever it was. I sit there going, I feel like I want to watch a Trek, but I don't know which one I want to watch. So I'd sit there for like 20 minutes going up and down, like close my eyes, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and I'd land on one and go, let me try again. I mean, that's fine, but I think I want to try. And eventually I would land on one. Yeah. I've only watched that one 775,000 times. And then still, Trek is one of those, like some other like a few other shows. So it doesn't matter how many times I've watched the episode. If it's one I love, it never gets old, and I love it. It's like listening to a song you love a million times. And if it's an episode I don't like much, then I just occasionally visit it. Like when we were reviewing the third season, you and I, there were a couple of episodes that I had to definitely go back and watch right before we did our review that night, because I hadn't watched that one in a while, because I haven't watched the Mark of Gideon in years because I hate it.
Yeah.
Whereas Mira or Doomsday Machine or Amok Time, you think I had to even do any study or watch that episode that way? It's right inside my soul, baby.
Yeah, but that's also why I look like a nincompoop on air a lot. And that's because, like, I go back and I 735. So it's like it's so hard to remember. And I think that what hardcore Trekkies don't realize is there are so many episodes that double back in different iterations of Star Trek that not only copy the title or rework the title, but they completely reuse stories or whole concepts. So if you're watching the 735 over and over again, you can't get as in-depth of a memory, especially when you're in university. You can't get an in-depth memory of the episodes like other people can. Like, obviously, to normies, I probably look like I'm outstanding at trivia, but there are some times when I'm like, if the pressure's on and it's like a Jeopardy moment on air,
Mark did that to both of us.
Because I can't. I am a linear thinker. I have to begin at the beginning and end at the end. It has to be linear for me. It's very weird. I realize I'm weird. I love you and I'm sorry.
No, we'd love teasing you about it. But the thing is, when you told me that, I didn't really at first. I was like, wow, I've never heard that before. Like, because you say you always do it that minute. And I was like, I just assumed if I love an episode, I'll pop any old damn random episode. Again, it's not like it's evil or anything, but I would just go, man, I can't even fathom it. And it must be weird because you have to sit through episodes you don't like as much when you do that. Whereas you could just, that's why there are episodes of original Trek, that ones I've loved. For example, let's take my favorite episode, Mirror Mirror.
Yeah.
And let's take my shittiest episode, And the Children Shall Lead, which is a toss-up. Sometimes I vacillate between that.
Hail!
Fire and snow. Friendly angel. This episode will blow. Let's just take those two. Of course, sometimes I vacillate between And the Children Shall Lead or Spock's Brain. Is There in Truth No Beauty? Or Mark of Gideon. I hate those. Oh, God. So let's just take one of those. Let's just go ahead and use And the Children Shall Lead. I've probably watched Mirror Mirror. I don't know if this is since I first saw it in 1979 or whatever it was, or 76 and rewatch, whatever it was, for well over 40 years ago. Since I've definitely watched it well over, it's got to be over 200 or 300 times. No, it's got to be over. Okay, 40 something years. Let's ballpark it at 43 years. Probably at least close to 200 times. It's got to be close. I've never counted. I should have counted, right?
Yeah.
Guess how many times I've probably watched And the Children Shall Lead? 4, maybe 3, 4.
Oh. Yeah.
Thank you, Michelle.
I think it's also because I'm also an odd Star Trek fan too, though, right? There aren't very many people who would name their ultimate favorite episode The Cage. And that wasn't fully available until 1989. But if you talk to people who don't know much about Star Trek, they're like, oh, that's always been my favorite episode. When meanwhile, it's like, okay, you mean in 1989 from that time forward? And obviously, like, I was already an adult by that time. So, and then also, the same thing you can say, well, almost the same thing you can say Where No Man Has Gone Before. But there are some standouts. Like for me, like obviously, The Cage and Where No Man is my two absolute tops. But obviously, what's always going to be third and sometimes even second place for me, Where No Man switches, is Devil in the Dark, because it's so cerebral and it's so beautiful and I just love it. Those, I want to watch them over and over and over again. And certainly growing up in a band. In hotel rooms on the black and white TVs whenever it was on, I was glued to it. But there's no way that I could tell you how many times I've watched them. I wish I was able to watch The Cage more. And people are like, oh, that's the Menagerie. No, actually, it's not. It was written in 1964.
I love both of them now. Hello, Zax. Good to see you there. I love The Cage and I love the Menagerie. I love them both that way. But for the longest time, all we knew was the Menagerie. Then we got, in the early days. But yes, so
and then to hear Gene talk about The Cage.
Oh, I love The Cage.
And just to articulate his feelings about it, it blew me away.
Yeah.
like fireworks going off in my brain. I was like, this is the greatest thing that ever happened in science fiction writing. Is this happening right now? What's
Yeah. Yeah.
happening? It's just, it was so good. It was such a rush. It was like a huge rush. It was just beautiful. Anyway.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, oh yeah. Look, hey, Donnie Pearson, I got you. 1979, the year Star Trek: The Motion Picture debuted. It was a wonderful year. I just got the Blu-ray of the director's edition. Indeed, Michelle. Indeed. What I'm looking for? So, yeah, I don't know how we got on this, but I was just talking about TV shows. Well, it's the Clubhouse. We go all over the place.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are probably episodes of. There's probably nothing that I've watched more than Star Trek as far as like many times episodes. But there are a few other shows I'm like.
Oh yeah, time. We're talking about time travel.
We're talking about time travel. Well, yeah. But I'm just talking in general. Shows time could be considered time because shows we've watched many times. There's some other shows like Blake 7 I've watched so many times, and that's another one. I don't have to do that in order either. I've watched it. I've binged it in order many times,
Yeah.
but since I've discovered the show in 1986 or 7, whatever it was, since then I've probably at least watched the whole series through maybe 6, 7, 8 times. And as far as certain episodes, 40, 50, 60, 70 times. I mean, this crazy amount of times. Certain episodes I love more than others, just like with Star Trek. Again, that's another show I don't think you have to watch it in order. I mean, I know you do because you this way you do it. But I mean, as far as just I can pick and choose a random Blake 7 episode that I love, and boom, just jump on it, and
Yeah. I think that also comes from growing up in a band, right? Like growing up on tour in a band, in hotels and motels and festivals and on stages and things like that. Because I fell in love with Star Trek really early in the late 1970s. And I knew exactly what it was. I was old enough to understand it, although I don't give my age on air because that's not safe. But I didn't get to see it the way that I wanted to see it. First of all, because I'm Canadian, and the way that we view things up here is far different. Second, because I had an impecunious childhood. So if you come from very modest means, you may probably only have 2 channels, and one of them's French. And so for me, I think where the need came to watch them in a linear fashion came from just that accessibility, knowing that I could go and get them and watch them all in order. And so as they were made, I would watch them in order as it became more and more possible for me to be able to do it that way. And then I sort of felt like I wasn't missing out because, I've worked my whole life. And by the 80s, I was an adult. And so I didn't have as much time to watch all these things. And there were episodes I would miss. And a lot of people, I think, overstate things too on YouTube, right? Fewer than 2% of the North American population had a VHS, and I believe the year is 1982. So when people are like, "Oh yeah, I had it on VHS," yeah, right, you had it on VHS. Shut up, sit down. I mean, I know you did, and I know Mark did, but that's because you were 2 of the biggest geeks in the United States. But anyways, so for me, I guess what I'm trying to say is me wanting to watch it in a linear fashion came from always being on the other side of the border going, "Oh, I love that. Why can't we have more of that? Why can't we have science fiction conventions? Why can't people come up here and dress like Spock? Why can't we have that?" And so, it's FOMO. Canadians, if for science fiction, especially for Star Trek, have massive FOMO, fear of missing out.
Fear of missing out. That's what I've heard of that. Hello there, Comic Relief Crusader. Hey there.
Hey!
But well, there you go. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how we got into that topic, but that's what we do here on the Clubhouse. And we're talking about TV shows. So there you go. Yeah.
We do. Oh, can I ask one question before we move on?
No questions. Go ahead.
My friend, our friend, who we love very much, Captain Cockney Spock, Captain Infinity and beyond.
Captain Infinity.
He has asked me to buy something called City of Glass. And then I believe he put it in the parenthetical, the comic adaptation Could we please look at that? And may I please be told about it so that while I have my experts here and you guys can teach me about it, and then I will go and purchase it. You know, if it's anything to read, I'll read it. Kaylee Chow!
Oh, Kelly Chow. Better luck next week, buddy. What do we look? What was the? Is it a comic?
I'm not sure. He calls it
Or is it a
City
book?
of Glass, and then he says the comic adaptation. And you know,
Oh,
he's
comic
quite
adaptation,
clever. I'd like to see what he's offering here, and maybe you could tell me what it is.
Well, I see it as a book, and there's a comic book. Oh, there's a comic book adaptation.
Yeah, okay. Let's because I think I've heard of City of Glass as a book.
Paul Auster, is that how you say his name? I mean, I've seen this. I don't know about if I've seen the book, but this comic looks
Show me, share your
vaguely
screen.
familiar.
Show me, share your
This
screen.
may not be what he's talking about. I don't know. Let's see if he's talking about the comic adaptation.
Yes, I remember Acorn the Nature Nut.
Yeah, I see it. Dave Mazzucchelli art. Oh, I've seen this. No wonder I've seen it before.
How about you, Narat? Look up. Look way up.
I'm a big Mazzucchelli fan. This is when he was this sort of his weird period, you would say? No offense to it, of course. It's just doesn't look like his older stuff. There you go.
No.
Dave Mazzucchelli.
What is this?
This looks like the comic book adaptation.
Oh.
There you go. It's a graphic novel from the 90s.
A trilogy?
I've seen this before, but I don't think I've ever read it. I've never. And the book's by Paul Auster. Says Ezra, but this is the comic book adaptation to it.
Okay, and so this came out in 1994 with Avon Books. Is that what it's called? 1994.
Like oh, that reminds me. This put me onto something that I've always
Books.
wanted to.
And is there anything else I should know? Is there an ISBN? Do comics have ISBNs? That's a stupid question, I know.
Yes.
Something I don't know. Do they have an ISBN?
Yeah.
My comic shop is on the side.
Well, that's the watermark of the place that's selling this particular.
Yeah, I think I'll go there and get all the information from it. And it's Paul Auster. Thank you, boss, and thank you, Captain Infinity and Beyond.
Yes, I would concur with that. So it is about as far away from Daredevil and Batman as you can get. But I like. I love stuff like that. Mazzucchelli's a great artist. So, but you know what he got me thinking about by showing us that?
What, honey?
Is because we talk about science fiction so much, and we talk about comics here as well. DC Comics in the 80s, and I'm sure Captain Finney probably remembers this, and no Hungry Boy does. They had a line of graphic novels, and people always misuse the term graphic novel, and it drives me crazy. But these are graphic novels. Graphic novel is not. It's a square. It's more of a square bound magazine size, but square bound format that is like a trade paperback of sorts. But it's not they call everything a graphic novel, even though they're just compilations. But anyway, it was they adapted a bunch of science fiction books in comic book form with some incredible art. Have I ever showed you that before?
No, I don't believe so. I mean, you've taught me a lot, so I don't know. And then we've got Hungry Boy here, and Hungry Boy is like a fine arts, instructor in college. So you guys have packed my brain filled with a lot of this stuff. So if I'm speaking out of turn and you showed me this before, I mean no disrespect.
No, I probably haven't. I'm sure you remember those though, you guys. Some of you guys from the 80s, as you can see, and some of them had really great art. Let's see here. Frederick Pohl's Merchants of Venus.
Some
of this
instead of Merchants of Venice. So what's happening in that novel? Will there be a pound of flesh?
Robert Bloch, remember him?
Yes.
Hell on Earth. Let's see here. But there was one. I mean, they had a lot of them, of course. They had one from your favorite person in the world, the boob grabber. Here's a great.
He's a good writer, though, but he's a boob grabber.
Here's a Ray Bradbury one that was great. But there was one, and it wasn't a book though. These are all from books. They actually look. There's a Larry Niven one there. See,
Science fiction graphic novel. Again, this graphic novel thing.
These are
Okay.
science fiction graphic novels that were adapted into, you know, but well,
In
there's
the
one
80s, no less. In the
in the
80s, no less.
80s.
May I please ask the chat? And certainly we have our fair of anonymous experts here who I know, by the way they talk, that they are actually experts. When did the graphic novel come into its own and become a bona fide form of bookmaking,
In
a form of prose where people were like, ah, yes, the graphic novel. What is the
well,
birth date of the graphic novel? Does anyone know?
it's sketchy, but it probably starts with the old Mike Frederick Star Reach comics of the in the Star Reach magazine and comics and Tundra albums of the 60s and 70s, probably. But the term graphic novel may have been used a little bit around that time. But as far
Okay.
as coming into popularity,
Okay.
Marvel started with a thing called Marvel Graphic Novel #1, which was in this format. It's bigger than a comic book, and it's you know, so it's not the first one, but as far as making, you know, the graphic novel popular, where the term got in there, the Death of Captain Marvel. And again, it's not the very first of these types of books that are considered to be graphic novels. I believe it was Star Reach. Excuse me. And well, actually, you know, some would think could even be goes farther back as His Name is Savage by Gil Kane, although it was kind of a magazine format. But say again.
What year would that be?
You're saying Savage? Yeah, it's because His Name is Savage 68, Gil Kane. It was kind of I would say that's probably could be the first one. I have the reprint of that.
So what
That's
is the difference between, and I know the answer to a
This is-
certain extent, but let's talk about this as though we were talking about it in publishing. And Clubby, I know you undersell your abilities in education to a very large degree. So how does this take shape as a deliverable? What is the delineation betwixt this idea of comic and this idea of graphic novel? Now, to some point, we could say binding, and we could say paper. So we're looking at much heavier paper stock, right? A heavy paperboard cover. We're looking at something that's a lot thicker. Am I correct in these assumptions? What else would make someone say, okay,
Well,
this is no longer a comic, this is a graphic novel?
It's still a comic, and this is just not using it. This is it's first of all, this was not by a regular big publisher.
Okay.
It's bigger. This is almost like a magazine size format here. This is His Name is Savage is the one that from 68 is what Hungry Boy's referring to. I have it. This is the original cover. As you can see, they drew Lee Marvin. They took a picture of Lee Marvin and drew him as Lee Marvin on the cover, the actor, for this book. But it's by the great Gil Kane. This is the one I have that was reprinted later. This one. So it could be His Name is Savage. Could be the first one. There was the Star Reach books.
Is that oil? Can you please explain
this cover is?
Yeah, can you please explain this to me? Okay, so you said this was so they took a photograph and then they painted an oil painting from the photograph, or?
I'd say so. That you'd have to talk about you'd have to talk to a Hungry Boy about about that part
because
of it.
You know how I love this stuff. This stuff to me, it's like this is a drug. Who needs drugs when you have something like this? Look at this. This looks like the same sort of that same sort of feeling that you get from Gold Key Star Treks. This beautiful.
It is similar to that.
Oh God, yes. I love it. And you know, on set in Star Trek, and I believe in Forbidden Planet as well, we had that painting on glass with oil, and then of course we had oil paintings. Just like I love this look of oil, the viscosity of it to create art in this medium during this time on this type of paper with these type of inks. It's very sexy to me. It's very smoky library. Bring me a brandy. I still smoke cigarettes. Let's do this. And I haven't smoked cigarettes for 25 years.
Well, this is a great cover. Now again, good night, Michael Beacom.
Good night, Michael Beacom. And tell Cassandra we said good night too.
Yeah. Have a good one. Have a great one there. Appreciate you. But yes, see this was it was kind of more like a shape, like a bit more like a magazine.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of what people think are oils are actually, I can't, caseins? How do you say it? Caseins?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't know how you pronounce those words. I'm going to mess up. So, this could be the one. Either way, I love it. Of course, it's Gil Kane. This is by the great Gil Kane, so you know I love him. Yeah. I have the one with a different cover that they reprinted it later. This one, yes. Vantagraphics reprinted this cover. Okay. I'm trying to find a big version of it. This is one I have a copy of right here, and of course, here's some of the pages from it. There's a splash page from it right there. Okay. That's not big enough. But this is a very violent comic.
Oh, no, that's enough. Look at what he's doing to his mouth. Put that off the screen. Ooh, I had to put my hand up. Ooh, did you see what he did to his mouth?
Anyway.
Ouch.
Graphic novels probably start. See, here's the thing. What it was it's not just like a comic book. It's a staple back pamphlet type of format.
Okay.
A magazine is also, too. It's a stapled thingy, of course, format that's just bigger. It's like 8.5 by 11. It's bigger than or more than that. I forget the measurements, but a magazine, as you know, is bigger than a comic. I'm sure everybody knows that. So along comes the graphic novels, and when the term exactly started being used was probably some of those Star Reach graphic novels by Michael Frederick, I think, or if I'm remembering correctly. So I don't even know if this was termed as a graphic novel at the time. I can't remember, but I don't, because I got it many years later. I don't think it was, but still, I'm fine to go with it because I love Gil Kane. But what a graphic novel really is, though, is it's a book format. It doesn't necessarily have to be bigger than the normal trade paperback, but it's a little bit. In this case, they started out, they were about magazine measurements.
Okay.
But they were not, they were square bound, in other words, or they were round bound. They were not stapled. They were glued, and they were bound like a book.
Yep.
And they weren't reprints. They had to be a new story bound in that format to sell on the stand, just as Savage was. Whereas opposed to many other things, like you'll walk into a Barnes and Noble here, for example, and you'll see a whole bunch, it's like graphic novels, and you'll go grab these thick graphic novels that have comic books in them. 97% of those or more are reprints, compilations of older comic books. So we call those trade paperbacks or hardcovers if they're hardcover. Mm-hmm. They keep using graphic novel, and that's not what they were really for. But we've lost that battle. They're going to keep using. We'll never win it. But I still not. Some of us are never going to surrender that. It's not a graphic novel.
Do you know that
I love trade paperbacks?
In publishing my book, it's not even allowed through the publishing mechanism I'm using, and I'm so heartbroken by it because I miss trade back. When you're looking at mass paperback, it's so small, and it has such tiny font, and I just find that if you want to curl up with a sexy book and you want to feel like you're immersed in the book and to touch it and smell it and have this tactile experience, but also for it to fill up your lap where you don't have to mind it or bend it and crack it, and obviously you don't want to break the spine, that can be achieved with a beautiful trade back. And I'm so disappointed that it will not be available to me. I'm going to be doing a hardcover, but I do love trade backs. Trade backs are the gold standard for me.
I love hardcovers too, though.
Something. Pardon?
Yeah, but I love hardcovers too, though.
I do, but did you know they're in decline?
Yeah, I guess I've heard that.
People don't buy them anymore. They like to look at them and they'll buy them at the used bookstore, but they won't buy them new. Did you know that?
I've heard it.
Weird,
hey? For sure. It's crazy.
Yeah. And so that and if you're publishing through these mass publishers, they all want to do the paperback, and none of them are offering that trade back. And God, I love trade back.
Yeah, I love them. Well, again, there's nothing better to get those compilations, those cheap. You go to like some of these dealers, whether they're at a con or wherever you go, or even online, and get like a $30 or $40 trade paperback for $5-6. I got one the other day at this place that sells those cheap. So here's the first Marvel graphic novel right here, which is The Death of Captain Marvel. When I was running a comic shop when this came out. We were all excited about it. We were thrilled. We didn't know what
you mentioned this one earlier.
Like Hunger Boy says, the story must be designed to be in the format to be a proper graphic novel, not just 12 comics printed as a and yes,
Okay,
as
so
a mass.
there are slight changes to the prose and the volume of prose.
Well, it's just that you could do a longer story with a graphic novel. This was at the time it's $5.95, which is your standard normal comic book is that much now. But and this was this is the original. Now the first, see, it says graphic novel second print. A lot of the first printing, I remember when we first ordered this, burned up in like 20,000 something copies burned up in a fire at the warehouse at the printer. But back in 1982 when we got this, when we sold it, and I remember was reading this, blown away. It was a beautiful, disturbing, great book. We're going to review it soon on the show. It's a great comic.
Well, this whole thing is Captain Infinity's fault. It's wonderful.
What do you do now?
Well, he led us down this dark alley, and it's lovely. Thank you, Captain Infinity. And I especially like the fact that although Captain Infinity took us down this dark alley, we have Hungry Boy and Captain. We have Hungry Boy and the Captain here with their flashlights guiding the rest of us through the tunnel. through the dark alleyway.
Of course. So they started a series of these Marvel graphic novels throughout the 80s. But also DC, DC did a couple that were also, because basically these graphic novels were, like I said, they were still of Marvel characters, just these one-shot type stories and stuff, which we all, some were good, some were not so good, but, they were fairly popular, depending on what they were. Like it was one of the early ones, like this one, the X-Men, God Loves, Man Kills is one of the great stories they did. So anyway, DC did a couple of superhero ones, but then they did this line of science fiction ones, and they had one. I already showed you some. Here's one. Here's one they did. Are you familiar with a show called The Outer Limits? I know.
Yes, of course. Don't be ridiculous. The old one or the new one?
The original, of course. The Boob Grabber wrote, in my opinion, my favorite episode called "Demon with a Glass Hand."
Okay.
You remember that one?
I don't remember the title, but if I saw it, I'd be like, yeah, I know this episode.
Robert Culp.
Oh, Robert Culp. Yeah, but he was ubiquitous in my generation. Yeah.
Anyway, a great artist named Marshall Rogers adapted this.
Oh, nice.
And he adapted it word for word from the screenplay with beautiful art by Marshall Rogers. And,
so is that the form this usually takes? And I know that I'm asking you all of these detailed questions, but the reason being is I see what Hungry Boy can do. And, we have that friend of ours, Makini, and I see what they're doing. And then I see...
Oh, yeah, Makini, yeah.
Yeah, and I think to myself, wouldn't it be kind of neat if a couple of my short stories went into something like this?
Yeah.
And I could do a collaboration with someone who's really talented at doing something like this, because I find the entire format very intriguing. But this is not a format that I studied in university. It's not as though, you study the graphic novel in university. I've studied every other writing form, but I did avoid taking screenwriting because I wanted to have a more of an academic bend in my undergrad. But there wasn't even anything offered for a graphic novel, so I know precious little about the graphic novel. But to me, it seems like it's exploding in popularity, and it might be a good way to deliver on short stories with somebody who can draw really well.
Nice, Hungry Boy. That's a great one. I love Outer Limits. So yeah, no, I think that'd be great. You could have, it's with a good artist translating your stories into that medium. It would be lovely, wonderful.
Yeah, like it's so much fun, right? And this makes it fun. I'm not too snobby to do this. I don't think I'm too highfalutin for graphic novels. and certainly you and Hungry Boy have shown me just how fine many comics are.
I love this episode too, by the way. Again, what's great is...
Oh, I hope she's okay, Michelle.
Oh, well, I hope the little one's fine there.
Yeah.
That's Robert Culp with Arlene Martell in that episode.
Mm-hmm. And he was in everything.
That episode was filmed all inside of this building. It was the building that was actually used in Blade Runner for a lot of interior shots. many years later. So, yeah, this is I love Demon with the Glass Hand, and I love this. So, yeah, there's graphic novels for you.
So basically, what you're saying is if an author were interested in doing something like this, it would really truly be about vetting someone who would be capable of using the material to write a graphic novel. Is that what you're saying? Because that makes sense.
Yeah, okay. Absolutely. Look at the. I mean, Marsha Rogers was a great panel. Look at the panel arrangement on this page right here. From his, I mean, this is beautiful stuff.
Yeah.
And yes, you got to find someone who's talented. There are plenty of those.
Crazy panels. Look at these panels. Do they still call them panels in graphic novels?
I hope so. Probably click on the City on the Edge forever. Of the City on the Edge of the World. City on the Edge of the World. Yep, that's a Blake 7 episode. Mm-hmm. But I know you saw City on the Edge of Forever. That's of course Star Trek. But yeah, yes, that was Harlan Ellison. That was they did a comic. IDW did a comic book adaptation of his his dopey original teleplay for City on the Edge of Forever.
Yeah, I know about this.
Good art. He had good art in it, but yeah.
Yeah. So. Jill says, when I come to Clubby's Clubhouse, my book wish list grows. You know what happens to my book wish list, Jill? It gets done, and then my wallet is lighter, and my bank account is emptied, and I blame all of you.
All of you.
I blame. Well,
at least Mark's not here to enable you. I'm sure he's the big enabler.
Oh, you're the enabler. You're worse.
Yeah, but
you and Minimus.
Mine was an accident, though.
Yeah, but the thing is that like Mark is a geek enabler, right? Like he brings merch and toys and games and all these fun things that geeks love, and all the geeks are drooling. They're like, "Oh, I want that. Oh, is that an original ring? I want that. Oh, that ship. I can't believe that model has LEDs with it for only $300." And so you guys talk like that, and I'm like, "Oh God, the guys are having fun." But then you and Minimus. Oh, Darius Munchausen.
Darius, what's up, buddy?
But then you and Minimus will say something like, "Hey, have you ever read this old dime store sci-fi novel that came out in 1962? It's called Blah Blah, and it has this person as the cover artist." And then I'm like, damn it, guys. And then I have to go to Abe's Books and I have to order the book, and it's usually only in the UK. I have to
Did you ever get any of those books? Did you ever get any of those books in yet that you ordered?
I'm waiting for them. I ordered them last week. You and
Minimus. Or just one? I thought it was one book.
Yeah, well, I have a couple.
I only remember one, so you can't blame me for any other ones.
Well, it's Minimus also. He's awful.
He has a lot of books.
Hola.
Books, young man. Books.
Yes, and he flaunts his book, and what's worse is he flaunts science fiction, and he knows it. Do you know what I mean? It's like science fiction porn. He just puts it all up, and he's like, "Look at these books. They smell really great. I've read them 3 or 4 times." And then, of course, I have to order them.
Yeah, sure.
Like when you guys taught me that John Carter on Mars was not really John Carter on Mars. So I went and bought the Abbott book.
Well, he was, but he just wasn't the first one on Mars. It was what's his name? Whose name I'm forgetting for some reason now.
I'm forgetting it as well, but I did love the beginning.
Gulliver of Mars.
Gulliver of Mars. Yeah, I loved the beginning of that book because the weird situation that happens, the way that you described it, and the way that Minimus described it, you guys were bang on. I was like, "Ooh, it's happening!" It's fun. Anyways, that was a good book. No, I read it very gingerly because the book is, I believe it's worth $470 American
each. Wow.
If it's in excellent condition, and I have unread condition. So mine is just under excellent. So it's still, I put it back into the plastic sleeve. I didn't bend the spine while I was reading it.
Well, that's good. At least there you go.
Discipline.
Hello says, would it surprise you to learn that I looked on eBay for the Playmates USS Defiant after last Saturday night's live stream? Now that's Mark there, Mr. Enabler, with show us is the Playmates Defiant. Nice. Raquel, you should see the book I got from my husband as a birthday present for a few years ago. I got the first edition Nostradamus. Wow. Oh, goodness.
Nostradamus.
It has this quatrains in it. So, well, there you go. Books. I love books. There's, again, the old days of just hanging out going to the used bookstores or going to not even just that. It wasn't just the used bookstores. This is what ridiculous geeks do, when most of them are single anyway. We all live apart from each other, but there was a time when, let's say on your average Friday night, for example, or maybe your Saturday night, we'd all go and hit Hooters and hang around and look at girls we couldn't have. And then...
Which girls? You mean the girls on their chests or the girls? What's
the difference? Anyway, but we would sometimes, because it was, Barnes and Noble was open late. That 70s rocks. What's up, buddy?
That 70s, and boss, I have to interrupt, although I don't want to, because I think I saw it, but it's gone now. I think Chris is leaving. Chris, are you leaving? I love you, and I just want to say goodnight to you before you go. I love you. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Yes, he says, I'm going to turn in. Have a great night, everyone. I just found it. I love you. Good night, honey.
All right, buddy. Goodness. Thank you for being here, bro. Appreciate you.
And tell your dad we said hello.
Yeah, if we had like an hour or two before the thing would close, we'd go and just want to go to our big idea, since we didn't drink or any of the other stuff like normal people when we're geeks. We just go hit the Barnes and Noble and just walk around in there, or out, looking at books and bags and comics and whatever else was in there, and just goofing off in there. That was pretty pathetic, but that's what we used to do.
Oh, I love that sort of
thing. Still do it now. It's just that we're all scattered to the four winds, so
yeah.
But that was in younger geek days.
I'm very happy that Kamloops is here this evening.
He's leaving, so he's moving somewhere. So
he warned me. He's like, "What are you going to do when I no longer live in Kamloops?" I don't know, but I hear his sexy Scottish accent whenever he talks in the chat. I read now, and all I hear is the cute Scottish accent. You can hear him. Ooh, Werewolf Jeebus!
Werewolf Jeebus, what's up, dude? I've been saying, do you have a big family or something, Werewolf Jesus? Because you've got, I've seen Franken Jeebus. I've seen Franken Jeebus.
Werewolf Jeebus, Monkey Jeebus.
I've seen, all over the place. So everybody,
I've been every Jeebus man. I've been every
Jeebus man. Yeah. Well, that's my goodness. So where's Monkey Jeebus?
I don't know.
Is that Monkey Jeebus or is that part of Monkey Jeebus's family? Monkey Jeebus sent me a picture earlier. If that's you.
It might be. He might be werewolfing across the universe because it is October.
Chat's moving fast on us too. That's cool. Monkey. He sent me an interesting picture. I can't really say what it was. It was pretty hush. But Hungry Boy, I'm gonna. It's him. I knew it. Hungry Boy. I'm gonna send you some.
You're moving back to Alberta? Shut the front door. Well, then obviously you're going to come hang out with me and Andy, right? You let me know when you move. Get a hold of me. I know I don't let people who aren't my friends DM me, but of course you can DM me anytime you want. That 70s rock fan, I consider you a friend. You know me though. It's just like with the Twitter, I try and keep it to as low capacity as possible because it's too much drama. But get a hold of me because Andy and I will take you out for lunch. I don't know if you're going south or if you're going north or if you're going in the middle, but we definitely got to meet up. And Andy and I, we always play pool, and we play pool all over Alberta. So we're sure to be in your neck of the woods, and let's go and have a pint. Bring the missus, and we'll go hang out, have giant burgers and tall pints of beer.
Well, there you go. There you goes. Oh my goodness.
Oh, you're going to Cowtown? Oh, good. That's great. Going to be by the mountains. That's good, good, good. Enjoy it. Have a good move, and you always have friends here.
Wow, there you go. And look, Michelle said her parents living in Alberta. Because it reminds them of Ireland and Norway.
Yeah, exactly. Mountains and cold. Michelle, right? Mountains.
Is it cold up there now?
Not yet, but it will be soon.
Yeah, but compared to by my metric, is it cold there?
No. Actually, I think that you would be so happy here because I know you don't like it when
I love cold. I just don't get any.
I know you don't. Well, the thing is that you're not really an extreme person. You're just a very normal person, which is very rare in this world.
I wouldn't go that
But
far.
I know what you're like, and I actually think you would really enjoy Ireland. Ireland is very temperate. It's never extreme, and it's pretty much like yeah. Anyway,
No, I mean Alberta.
The weather here right now in Alberta, you would absolutely love. You would be so happy. You wouldn't be perspiring. You wouldn't have any trouble breathing due to the horrendous humidity in Louisiana.
Yeah, Louisiana, the old cornball saying is, if you don't like the weather, wait a minute. If you need an example, the past 2 days, first of all, we've had a very mild summer. Our summers are usually way more horrible than this, and we have to worry about hurricanes. For some reason, I'm not gonna try to jinx it, but we've been lucky with the hurricanes this year. Sometimes we'll go a year or two where we're kind of lucky with them, and then, but even when we are, we don't never know. We never know when we're gonna get one, so we have to sweat hurricanes for like 4 or 5 months, and we're still sweating it because you never know. But we could get one right in the face next week. We don't, you don't know, but hope not. But anyway. I'm not saying there's one brewing out there, everybody. I'm just saying you just don't know.
Oh, you guys want to do an Alberta meetup? We totally can. Get all the Albertans. We'll all get together. And yes, Darius Munchausen, we are. Well, I'm on Mountain Time. I think all of Alberta is. I think only once you start to get to parts of Saskatchewan. It's
Let's
different.
see. Thank you, Eric K, for the $5 super chat. You're too kind, my friend. He says, Clobby is Abby something. Yeah, definitely Abby normal. Abnormal. Yes,
Eric.
That's it. Yes, I'm definitely abnormal. Abby normal.
I love you, Eric. And thank you for that beautiful gift for the boss. Helps keep the lights on in his virtual comic book shop. And Eric, do me a favor, honey. Tell me what you cooking.
What you cooking?
Yeah.
So, to give you an idea, the past 2 nights it got colder. It was for mid to late October. It was astonishing. The past 2 nights it got down to 37. I know you and I have different ways of measuring
you have Fahrenheit
that.
and I have Celsius.
Right. That's cold for us. That's almost unheard of. And now that was the past 2 nights, right? But tonight now the cold as low as it's going to get is 52. And then tomorrow it'll be.
Wait 1 second, boss.
What?
Hey Siri. What's 52 degrees Fahrenheit in Celsius?
Okay, I found this on the web for what's the 52 degrees Fahrenheit in Celsius. Check it out.
Well, where the hell is it? In Celsius. Let me just go get it, boss. It's not showing me right away. Oh, for Jiminy.
Well, it's 52 is.
Oh, nice. It's 11. It's 11 degrees there. That's nice. 11
bad,
degrees. Right? That's good for you and Andrew. You and Andrew at 11 degrees, you're like, let's go get some lunch on a patio. Me, my teeth are chattering.
But the 2 previous days we were 32. So, 37, which is unheard of at that time. So that gives you the example of one day it can be 37 degrees. The next day it can be 52. Then the day after that it's 75. It's ridiculous. And at least we get horrible humidity here. At least we haven't got that much. Oh my God, we're talking about the weather. We got to stop.
Well, that's in my DNA, right? The Irish, they're obsessed with the weather. Oh, you want to be talking about the weather? You got it.
We got you talking about the weather, yes, indeed. Well, I tell you what, we should probably start wrapping it up, I guess, because we don't have Mark here.
And, well, we had fun.
We had fun.
Is there anything left that the chat wants to discuss that Clobby and I didn't get to? We hope you had fun tonight. Thank you to all of the new people who came. You guys are great.
As long as it's geek related, of course. We're not going to discuss like your all of your.
Yeah, it has to be nerd related.
Any
So
hang-ups
books
you
and
have,
academia or geek related. That means games, comics, collecting, adult toys, not those kind of adult toys.
Thank you, pop culture. Yeah, not those kind of toys. Don't say never say adult toys ever.
Well, I don't know how to
It never
describe
goes.
them.
Just say toys because they're not adult. They claim they're adult toys. They're toys.
Listen, nobody hands their kid a $500 NCC 1701. No one does that. There are NCC 1701s that are $7,000, $8,000, and $9,000.
You just saying the way it sounds, you know.
Nerds blow all their money on academia. Geeks blow all their money on stuff, like crazy expensive stuff.
Michelle, if I get a chance, I will try. I can't promise anything because I got to handle some stuff.
Oh, I have something important here.
But I will try.
While I'm yammering on, I just put
it's not. It may have to be tomorrow because I got a bunch of stuff I got to do when I leave out of here in a minute, and I got to get up early. But I will try, Michelle, and I'm so happy that you joined us tonight. You've been wonderful in the chat, and we appreciate you being here.
I think so too. I don't want to delay you anymore because I know you have to leave. But
no.
Kal-El just asked me, Raquel, forgive me if this seems like a silly. No, you never ask silly questions, Stephen M. You're very bright, and I love your company. You're a good friend. He says, but have you considered, once the hardcover is out, releasing your short story collection as an audiobook available for purchase as well? Yes, actually. My offspring is connected to the theater in Canada and some very talented people. And some of them have read the stories and are very excited about reading them and turning them into audiobooks. So the offspring is connecting me to those folks. I did have a famous playwright here who's also a famous actor, and he read Lila, but I didn't put it all out on the internet. I only put a sample of it. And what's funny is the offspring did it for me as a surprise. So she actually sent this person the rough draft. So now the rough draft of Lila is out on the internet forever. But I don't care because this famous Canadian, well, you know, he's our kind of famous Canadian playwright and actor and director, did an audiobook for it. So it is something I'm keen to. I promise you that I will look into it. It's something I also want to do. And I realize that people are really like that sort of thing now. And I love your suggestions. And anytime you want to ask me anything or suggest anything, please let me know. And I will definitely respond in kind. This is an excellent question. And thank you for bringing it up. And it's going to get done. It's going to get done, Stephen M. And I love you. Mwah. Thank you for asking.
Hey, your old toys. Good to see you there. And I got to tell you, Michelle, I know nothing about poetry except for Vogon poetry. I know a little of that.
Send him shin kicks. Rover the boss. Rover the boss.
Hey, I'm happen to like Vogon poetry.
I happen to like Klingon opera.
Yeah, Klingon opera. But I will definitely look at it again. I know nothing about it now. I'm a chucklehead. I'm also a 12-year-old, even though I'm older than everybody here, probably, except for maybe 70s. He might be older than me. 70s, might be in his 80s. I don't know. I'm just kidding. 70s, we don't know. But I'm older than most people, almost than everyone here for sure, except maybe
Methuselah.
But I'm still a child, and I only know things about worthless crap like funny books, comics and science fiction and books and science fiction TV shows and crap, and little NFL, some politics, stuff like that. But when it comes to the refined arts and things like that, I'm an absolute moron. I am an imbecile. I am a caveman.
No.
I'm a troglodyte.
No.
Don't listen to her. I'm the captain, and I'm ordering that I'm those things. So there.
Ignore him. I'm your first officer. I'm your XO.
I wish I was refined. For example, I knew you were 985 years old. Bob Racing, Palpatine, what's up? Believe me, you think I don't want to be like Paladin, who knows all that stuff? I mean, Paladin walking around quoting Keats and Shelley and all, and Wilde and all these people like that, and yet walking around with my gun and I could boom outdraw any baddie. You think I don't want to be that guy? I'm
You
just
are
not that guy.
guy.
I'm just the thing. I'm Ben Grimm, the ever-loving blue-eyed thing.
No,
Even though
that's
I'm
what
brown,
you look like.
even though I'm brown-eyed.
That's
And
what you look like, but that's not who you are inside.
I'm just the ever-loving clobbering thing who runs around saying things like, oh, sorry, like this.
I just love clobbering time.
See? No. Or
It's clobbering time.
all to do is punch things.
Hey, did you know that I got to see them this time?
To what? Oh, you did. So there you go, working there.
I actually saw them this time.
Yeah. Now Eric's pretty old too. I've got some information that Eric might be like in his 90s. Just kidding, Eric. I know you're younger than me, brother. Don't worry. You're good.
Oh, I love it.
Who
that
else?
70s rock band says I was a part of the welcoming committee when the Romans first arrived. Which welcoming committee? Canada? Get out of here. Your accent's way too thick.
You're a Roman, Kirk, or you should have been.
Eric K. Omnipresent.
Thank you, Jill. Jill, you're too sweet. Thank you.
He does have excellent taste, and he's very refined.
I really have actually crap. No, look, I say those things, yes, tongue in cheek, but I don't really mind them. I mean, this is the way it is. I have an appreciation and respect for people who do have all that kind of, refinement and education and things, education and all that stuff. But I still admit what I have and don't have. I just believe in being a realist.
Get out of town. Captain Infinity says, after 40 years of debating whether Deckard's a replicant, the final word went to Clobby. Case closed.
Michelle says she'll be 29 in 11 days. Well, happy birthday on that day.
Oh my goodness.
That will make you well, put it like this. My oldest child is 35 and a half, and my second the oldest is 33. So your kids are a little bit younger than mine though, Michelle.
Aw, that's cute. And amazing. And you don't talk like you're 29, but yes, you are definitely younger than my offspring as well. But definitely, I did not think so. I mean, you're very, very cute by your avatar. So I was thinking you were very young, but the way you talk, I thought you were much older. So, well, thank you for sharing that with us. You are a very beautiful and open person, and I really enjoyed your company tonight. I know everyone did. You were outstanding tonight, Michelle. It was such a pleasure to meet you.
Yep. Well, at the time when the time comes, we'll happy birthday at you for sure. After 40 years of debating whether Deckard's a replicant or not, the final word went to Club. In case
I read this.
You're gonna get me in trouble with all those other Deckard arguers there. But bring them on. I'll clobber the pile of them.
Well, now you got to use your little clobby.
I can't remember what my did I give
your zombie puncher. Where's your zombie puncher?
Huh? Oh.
You're zombie punching.
Okay.
It's clobbering time.
Yeah, that.
I can't remember. By the way, did I give a final word on that now? Oh, yes. I decided that there are some things that mankind and, well, I'm sorry, humankind is not meant to know, or geek kind. So I forgot what, now you have to refresh my memory, Captain, on Affinity on what my verdict was. Because, again, I've got old man's memory there. I can't believe that. We need to, this is 2022. There are a lot of 40-year things, that we don't
right?
we don't even think. We've got, for example, or there are a lot of landmarks. Spider-Man, for example, Spider-Man is 60 years old this year. Blade Runner is 40. The Wrath of Khan is 40.
Ridiculous.
The first time ever, my fandom of Doctor Who is 40 years old. What else is 19? Oh, Tron. I love Tron. Tron is 40. So a lot of things are
ancient.
Yeah, a lot of things are have a landmark this year.
Oh, Captain Infinity says the final
exactly,
answer
that's right.
is that there is no final answer.
In my opinion, from what I read, thank you for reminding me. I'm not even kidding you. I was kind of drawing a blank because I'm just an idiot. I have a horrible attention span. A shitty. I have a really crappy short-term memory, and I'm not even making a joke about that. So yes, there is no final answer. That is my final answer. is that you can make up anything you want. I believe that movie leaves it to be completely nebulous, depending upon which cut you watch there, Finity. And I'm with you.
And look at these rapid fire comments. I'm just going to put them up on the marquee really quickly,
Sure,
okay?
sure.
But
No
look
hurry,
at
no
this.
hurry,
Pod
absolutely.
Racing Palpatine. The Thing and E.T. are
That's right.
40.
John,
Look at,
yes.
look
John
at our
Carpenter's.
Stephen.
Yeah,
Knight
John
Rider
Carpenter's
is
The
40
Thing.
years old. Oh my gosh.
Wait a minute. Knight Rider was 1982. Are you sure? Jeez.
We're so old. And then look at classic comics. Look at classic comics.
Oh, sorry.
Poltergeist, E.T. as
yeah,
well.
Poltergeist, right? E.T. Yeah.
Hungry
I
Boy,
didn't realize-
Carpenter's The Thing.
Yeah, I love John Carpenter's The Thing. I did not realize Knight Rider was 1982. I remember the show, of course, but
wow.
I simply can't appease both Doomcock and R.M. Burnett. It's a Kobe Masaruso. I can't have a scenario with no win. I understand. Well, I think they I just don't see there being any way. Again, it's all conjecture and it's all fine and good. It's all about a belief. It's sort of about the argument over a deity, in a sense.
That's right.
Captain Finity. People are going to believe what they believe, and they're going to give
And
all
you
their.
can't change it.
They're going to try to talk you into it, and then go, "Hey, man." Even though I thought the movie was okay, I saw it. My history with Blade Runner is this: I was 18 years old, or just shy of it. I saw it at the theater by myself one time, and I was looking forward to it because of Starlog magazine. I ended up thinking it was okay, but it wasn't what I expected. I had not read the short story at that point. Read the short story later. No, the book. It was the book, right? I think it was a book. Anyway, either way, and thought, yeah, it was fine. It was never my bag. And then a few years later, it had this big following. People would talk to you like you were a complete piece of trash if you didn't think it was the best movie you've ever seen in your life. And I'd be like, it was sort of. I mean, I never watched it again, not in any form. Until just a couple of months ago, and I wouldn't even have done that. Not that I had anything against it, except for our good buddy Captain Finity. And so I'm glad I did. I'm glad I went and watched I believe it was the director's, or it was one of those versions. And I glad I went back and watched it. So 40 years later, and still thought it was good. And just I hate to be that guy who doesn't revere it like everyone else does, but that's okay. I hope with some people. Oliver says Raquel was Mary Wollstonecraft Shelley. I'll let you read it.
Raquel was Mary Wollstonecraft Shelley, English author of the sci-fi horror novel Frankenstein, a role model influence in you in writing sci-fi novels. Okay. All right. This is an amazing question. Thank you so much for this amazing question. Okay. Mary Shelley wrote basically the first modern science fiction novel. And I think that she is genius. Not only because she was only 16 years old, 17 years old when she wrote it, but I love this idea of mechanization. I've always enjoyed mechanization and the scary circumstances of mechanization. And something that really scared Mary Shelley was this idea of electricity. How could electricity possibly be abused? And so because of that, we know that this signals to us, wow, this is science fiction. And science fiction helps us to work out all of our anxieties about technological advances and innovation and traveling to other planets and the possibility of meeting other life forms. That's the whole purpose and use of science fiction. It helps us to massage those anxieties, futurism, and the possibility we're not alone in the universe. So definitely she has influenced me because I just love the whole science fiction genre. I think it's truly, truly amazing. But it's important to unpack that. I grew up reading Edgar Allan Poe, and I absolutely love short story. I also love the things that Edgar Allan Poe says about short story, what short story is in craft, and how it has helped to launch some of the greatest novels that people would never even think of as being short stories in human history. So I really, really love Edgar Allan Poe. And now I'm going to say something that I've never said on air before, and that's something really personal to me. And I'm a very private person, but I'm just going to say it. in high school, I read a book called Sunlight and Shadows. And pretty much everyone in the whole class thought this textbook was the biggest piece of crap ever. I got a used copy that had the back ripped off and the front ripped off, and I still had to pay like, I don't know, 60 or 70 bucks for it because it's high school, right? Catholic high school. And so I took that book and I greedily read it from front to back. And it had all of these glorious short stories in it, like The Lady or the Tiger, and these huge short stories that tell full novel ideas in this very short period of time, this very short, very condensed prose. And I agree with Edgar Allan Poe. Something happens when somebody reads something in one sitting, and it turns it into a very dangerous object of affection. You can immerse someone, and then every word becomes incredibly precious. You have to show them, you have to draw them into where you are, and then tell them something in something as short as flash fiction, all the way up to what would be just short of a novella. And so I fell in love not only just with the idea of Mary Shelley Frankenstein creating science fiction, because she really did. She really gave us our first, we got to sink our teeth into it. But so did Edgar Allan Poe, right? But it's the short story of fiction form that I have this incredible attraction to. I'm so in love with it. I think it does wonderful things for people's minds. And I also miss that time in our lives, times when you and I, Oliver, would get on the bus, and it was okay to get on the bus. It wasn't uncool to get on the bus, and you'd go where you were going, and you'd open up your magazine or you'd open up your short story collection, and you'd have a beautiful story to read for the bus. And you'd have a short story to read over lunch at work, or you'd have a short story to read your kids before bed. And so I just love short story. Of course, I love novels, but when I think about conceiving story, I think of short story. And I think I've taken enough of your time, but I just wanted you to know that I'm very passionate about this and that I very much appreciate the nature of this question. And I love you and thank you.
Nice question, Oliver. Excellent. Well, anyone else got anything before we get out of here? Going once, going twice. Well, tell you what, folks, we're going to wrap it up. We're here for 3, and we miss our for those who are new here, we miss our good buddy Mark D with the C, our chief engineer, but he's on an away mission, and cannot disclose the importance of it. How just say congratulations to him and his wonderful better half, and I hope he is having a fantastic time wherever he is out there.
Yes,
and we will see him whenever he gets back. But in the meantime, let's see here. Tomorrow night, before I do that, do you have anything to finish with there, number one, or talk about?
I just want to say that I was so excited.
We have one for you.
To meet people today. Thank you so much for joining us. We met so many new faces. Please don't leave right away because Clubby likes to say goodnight to people. And
Right.
we've met so many new friends tonight. And on behalf of Clubby and myself, my goodness, did you guys ever deliver?
You were
what
all
an
amazing.
amazing conversation you all helped to cultivate. I love you all. Thank you. And I want to thank the Wrenches, people who come here and tirelessly donate their time to keep our chat safe so that we can have these engrossing and cerebral conversations, and they're not sullied by muck. And so I love the people who participate here, and each and every one of you is special, wonderful, and appreciated. And certainly to our very close friends who help us manage this crew and this space. And I also want to say, Captain, how I adore you and your beautiful mind. Thank you for teaching me about comics. Thank you for teaching me about comic art, graphic novels, and for creating this space. On behalf of everyone in the chat, oh my God, we love being here with you. You are so much fun. Thank you for doing this. You are a wonderful host, and it is an honor and a pleasure to be your first officer. And that's all I have to say.
I love you, and I thank you that. And I think in honor of one of those aforementioned that you've talked about new friends that we have, the lovely Michelle has a question. I think we could take that. Let you take that for her, then we'll proceed to get out of here.
The poem "The Spider and the Fly" by Mary Howitt. Let's just say it is good stuff. Love it, love it, love it. And I do like that sort of thing. I do like a tiny bit of darkness to it, but I don't like gore or horror. Like think of like Jabez Dawes and Santa Claus and Roald Dahl and his poems, that kind of stuff. I really liked that kind of poetry when I was young, and I really like that sort of folk songs, the poems and that have been cultivated into folk songs and things like that. Oh my goodness, Michelle, that speaks to every fiber of my Irish being. Let's turn them all into songs, you know? And so I love that kind of stuff. I like that there's a bit of dark humor there, but it doesn't go so far as to gross you out. And that's why I love teaching children with Shel Silverstein. I think that Shel Silverstein should be the agnostic's Bible on a young child's shelf. And certainly if you love The Spider and the Fly, you will be over the moon for Shel Silverstein. Although, you know, you're a grown woman with children, so you probably have heard of Shel Silverstein. If you haven't, babe, buy it all. It's so much fun. Sarah, Cynthia, Sylvia Stout simply would not take the garbage out. And so it piled up to the ceiling. Orange, what is it? Apple, something, orange peelings. It's been forever since I read it. It's glorious. It's dark. It's a little bit scary. There's also a wonderful poem in there about when children attempt to pick their nose, how something lives inside of the nose and it bites the tip of your finger. I love all that stuff. And that is definitely that type of poetry and storytelling is amazing. And I'm so happy that I met you.
Is that the one coming to my parlor says the spider to the fly?
No, that one.
I'm kidding. I'm just totally kidding.
Yeah.
I'm just that's what I'm saying. That's what I was trying to illustrate to Michelle. My level of maturity goes when you say Spider and the Fly. I think of Spider-Man because I'm a comic book geek, and I think of Simon and Kirby's character, the Fly, who existed before him. And to give you just another example of my maturity level, there have been times when holding a comic book called The Fly, and I would open up a page just so I can make the absolutely idiotic joke. Hey, look, my fly's open. So that's how bad I am. That's what a moron I am, person. Just letting you know. There's putting it into context. What a dope I am when it comes to that silly stuff. But I really appreciate you being here with us.
Well, you're not a dope.
I am.
Will you walk into my parlor, said the spider to the fly. 'Tis the prettiest little parlor that you may ever spy. The way into my parlor is up a winding stair, and I have many curious things to show you when you are there. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with you. Don't be silly.
Well, there you go. And I appreciate that. So, but I still like calling myself that because it's fun. Let's see. Where were I? Okay. Show notes, folks. Tomorrow night, I will be on our good buddy Nick Weiser's channel. Our good friend Nick and the Comic Shop Gang and I will be reviewing some Halloween-related Marvel comics. We're going to review Tomb of Dracula #1. That's a 50th anniversary for that. That was 1972. The Marvel version of Dracula in the Marvel Universe. Great. We're going to review issue #1 of that, a Werewolf by Night issue, a couple of Marvel team-ups with Spider-Man meeting some Marvel monsters. So we'll have five comics that the gang and I will review because we love reviewing comics. And then Saturday night here, if you're a Star Trek fan, reviewing all of Star Trek. We have 4 more episodes of Deep Space Nine Season 3. We'll be reviewing for you. 9 p.m. Central. Same Clobby time, same Trek time, same Clobby channel. I'll get it right one of these days. And that is about it. Of course, Monday night, I think, don't forget Hungry Boy or Hungry for a Trellenberg tiramisu, whatever.
Have you ever had that?
No.
And, when you come to Canada, I'm making that for you.
Oh, indeed. Well, I'm fair. It's a fair call.
It's a very good dessert.
Don't forget, Hungry Boy. Monday night, you're going to join me to talk some comics again, if you so choose. No pressure. Just if you feel like it, buddy. I hope you will. And yeah, so that is that. Thank you all so much for being here with us tonight. Really, really appreciate you. Let's see here. Who was with us? Of course, our great friends, the great Eric K., the Bronze Wrencher was here. Cannot thank you enough for all you did, buddy. Well, for all you do. And of course, the great Chris Persia, our Canadian wrench, the Vindicator wrench. We thank you so much. Let's see here. I want to thank our new friend. We just love making new friends. Michelle O'Rourke Johansson. It is wonderful to meet you, my dear. Thank you for joining us. I hope you will come visit us again here at the on Clobbering Times. I do 4 shows a night now. I don't know if you're a comics fan, but Monday night is comics. Wednesday night it's kind of open talk about geekness. The Clubhouse on Thursday nights it's usually booked myself, Raquel, and our great friend Mark D with the C, talking geek stuff like science fiction, Star Trek, and other toys, comics, just basic geekness. We geek around.
And there's
here a
nerd
lot.
stuff too. We'll still talk about all the books and the poetry and the authors and all this stuff you love. These geeks still keep me around, so you'll get a good balance of geek and nerd. And what's really cool about these geeks is they let me go off on a nerd tangent. So nerds and geeks, welcome, Michelle, and we will continue to talk about books, poetry, authors, all sorts of sexy stuff. Wait until you meet Minimus. Minimus is the book doctor.
You're still the only person on the planet that likes to separate nerds and geeks, right?
I'm not the only person. There's a
I know, but
body
you're
of
one of 5
scholarly
people.
evidence.
You're still one of 5 people. Let's say.
Not one of 5 people. It's all of academia. There have been studies.
I know. I just wanted to start up a hornet's nest with you there. Because I love you. I have to pick on you sometimes. My mom used to have a saying. She used to tell people, because what an a-hole I am, right?
Right.
She'd say, if Clobby, she didn't call me that, but I'll use that because my name is such a secret. If Clobby doesn't pick on you, he doesn't like you.
Yeah,
So
I know that. I love you.
But I love you again. But yeah, but I'm just saying most people don't know that. I mean, I kid you, but it's true. Most people don't even know that there's a difference between geeks and nerds, including everyone here until we met you. You as you know. So there you go.
Yeah.
Anyway, also here with us tonight was the great.
I love you, Clobby.
I love you. Phantom Outsider was here with us. Lemon Pie was here with us as well. J-Man was here. And Apollome's Minion was here.
And the
hope you're doing okay.
The pepperoni.
I didn't have anything else to hit with. Dave G Sound. I hope you're doing better, my friend.
Yeah, Dave, I hope you're feeling better, honey. We're thinking of you. We're sending you our love.
Mark Lerseth, thank you for being here with us. The great Kal-El, the super on.
Kal-El, but look at this. Captain Infinity, I love you. You went and looked it up. I love you.
Yes.
It is in a textbook. It is also the subject matter for a couple of doctorates. And there is a Venn diagram based on language use. So, nerds and geeks in a textbook, Venn diagram, Captain Infinity. I love you, Captain Infinity and beyond.
And he's geeking out about it.
I love it.
Captain Infinity and beyond was here with his brother. Always a pleasure, buddy. The great hungry boy, hungry for a. I can't pronounce it anyway. I can, but not that quickly. Not can't pronounce it that quickly. Is what I mean. Old gamer.
After I feed it to you, you're gonna be like,
matter. I mean, I still won't be able to pronounce it, even if I like it. Old gamer 72 Cutlass was here. Hang on, everybody. It takes me a minute to get through all these names here because I don't write them down because I'm an idiot, an imbecile, a fool, a moron. Classic Comic was here. Thank you very much. The aforementioned great J-Man.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Donnie Pearson, thank you so much for being here with us tonight. Appreciate you so much. Canadian Spider-Man who does whatever a Canadian Spider-Man. I want to thank, of course, the great Cardinal Sin for that very kind super sticker. My good buddy, I appreciate you. Hope you were doing well. Brian Hepburn, thank you so much for being here with us tonight. Everybody gets the shout out if you were here, even if you're already gone, you get it anyway. Because we like that's just how we roll around here. Usually, up in hill we roll. That's how we roll up in hill.
This is a man who never he never wastes education. This man, if you point him to anything from university, any type of research or evidence, this man does not squander a single morsel of manuscripts produced for knowledge and study. I love this, Captain Finity. This is great. He says, Captain, he says, I actually had no idea. It was literally a Venn diagram. Anyway.
Ezra Goldstein. Thank
Ezra!
you. Hang on. Who else, man? Let's see here. We had a bunch of people. A lot of us. I'm trying to make sure I don't want to miss it. Oliver Belamonte, thank you for being here with us tonight.
Great questions tonight. Holy smokeroonies.
Our buddy Michael Beacom was here. Shout out to you and the wonderful Cassandra. Hope you love. And thanks for that. I did manage to see that picture you sent earlier, but I forgot to go into it when you were here. Sorry about that, Michael Beacom, if you're hearing that. But thank you for the picture you sent. We'll mention it later. Yeah. Claude Selling, thank you.
Yay.
Our good friend Ananax Amanda Bear was here. Thank you so much. The great Andy Masterson was here with us, buddy.
The great maker.
So the maker. Well, we had a great time hanging out with Andy last night. That was a lot of fun, man.
Oh, wonderful.
Let's see. Skogli Jotun. Yeah. I'm so sorry I'm mangling that. I'm just sorry. Cam's crash courses, rather. Cam buddy. Thanks for being here with us tonight. And thank you again, Michael Beacom, for the super chat. Trevor Cunningham, thank you for being here with us. Our wonderful friend Six, thank you so much, beautiful Six, for that.
Yeah, I love
that kind super sticker. We love you. Thank you.
Night, Six.
Let's see. Getting there, folks. Sorry, I have to scroll the whole thing.
He goes down through the whole list so he doesn't miss a single person. So just sit tight, folks. He'll be there any second now.
Yeah, I have to scroll all the way. And that's a good thing about StreamYard's chat. It takes you all the way to the back to the beginning now, which is good. So it helps. So I'm like dumb vamping music, me going bop, 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 because it's annoying, I'm sure. But Tiger Stripes was here. Tiger Stripes, thank you so much.
Good night.
It's let's see. I always get to a point, and I do this with Mark a lot. Oh, Pop Culture Republic, thank you.
Yes,
and
Pop was here.
The great anti-derivative Jill, of course. Love you, Jill. Yes. Thank you for being here.
Yep, she's still here.
And let's see here. But I always think, that had to be everybody. I'll scroll just in case.
No. Pod Racing Palpatine and Darius Munchausen.
Darius Munchausen, Pod Racing Palpatine. I think I just said Ezra, but I'll say Ezra again. Appreciate you, Ezra.
It was so good to see you guys. Long time no see. I missed you.
Ezra, we'll talk Doctor Who soon, I promise. Just do it on a Wednesday night where I do the wild card. We'll talk some Doctor Who.
And did we hear a little classic comics?
Oh yeah, classic comics, of course.
Yeah, I love classic comics.
Yeah, indeed. Just want to be thorough here.
Oh! Don't forget what Jill just said.
But I don't know what she just said.
She says, "And good night to all the lurkers and those on the replay." Don't forget, boss.
Thank you so much, Jill. Look, there's the thing. I forget this sometimes, and I'm so sorry. Everyone who is out there just lurking, because I do that sometimes myself when I can't participate in a chat. I like to lurk and listen to different shows. Can't imagine anyone liking to listen to me, but with Raquel here, I can understand it. So I appreciate you lurking and listening, or if you're watching this later on a download or a repeat or however you want to call it, you have my thanks. Thank you so much. And my appreciation. We thank you so much.
For sure.
Almost to the end now, folks. I'm sorry. But I think we got, every time I say I think we got everybody, we end up with someone new. Someone that I didn't think of but we're going to try here. Oh, Zach, see? Zach was here. We try to get them all, folks. We try to get them all. Comic Relief Crusader was here. There you go, Comic Relief Crusader.
Oh, yeah, Comic Relief Crusader.
That 70s.
And Kamloops.
Kamloops was here, brother. Keely Chow, roll that tide. Good luck this week, buddy.
Hey, dude.
With that tide rolling.
Oh, werewolf Jeebus.
Werewolf Jeebus. Okay, I think we finally. I'm gonna say Matt G.
Oh, Matchy.
Matt G. Every time I say that, I think, I got him all. Boom. So, oh no. So you just never know. I already said lemon pie, but let's say it again. Just
Lemon pie.
she's my lemon pie. I changed the song. I know.
That's a gooder.
I know it's cherry pie.
That's a gooder.
Yeah, I like that song. Okay, I think we are solid now. But then I always say that, don't I? And then what happens?
We
Your
forget so
old
much.
toys.
Oh, yes. And the Cutlass guy. The
I
1972
got old
Cutlass
Gamer
guy.
72 Cutlass. I got that. I got him. We got Darius, of course, good buddy Darius, and yeah, I mean, look, I know this is riveting radio, folks. Sorry, but we like to give everybody a shout out
We do.
because we just, we care about everyone who hangs out with us,
Yeah.
and it's just so great to have you here, and because you could go anywhere, but you come and hang out with us, just talking about all kind of this silliness or whatever stuff that. And we certainly do appreciate you. So I think there we go. We got it all. Everyone, have a wonderful remainder of your evening or night. Actually, it's morning for a lot of us now. Have a great weekend though, and take care of yourselves. And hope to see you back here soon. And enjoy these important messages before we get out of here.
It's clobbering time.
Atomic batteries to power. Turbines to speed.
Roger, ready to move out.
I just love clobbering time.